Hendrick teammates on the front row in Chevrolets. William Byron will go to the rear in a backup car. Austin Dillon won in 18. He starts right next to the driver. He spun out on the last lap to win it. Almirola. A couple of youngsters trying to make some noise. Christopher Bell and Bubba Wallace in Toyotas. And two former Daytona 500 winners, Ryan Newman in 2008 and Kevin Harvick the year before.
And row 5, Joey Logano, and beside him, Kyle Busch, 57 Cup wins, but never a 500 win. How about row 6, Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott, defending 2020 champion, never won the Daytona 500 yet. And row 7, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney alongside him, two-time runner-up in the 500. Row 8, Daniel Suarez. You just heard his co-owner Pitbull give the command alongside Corey LaJoie.
Let me take this thing over. Row 9, pair of teammates, David Reagan, Michael McDowell. Row 10, our very own Jamie McMurray. Hasn't been in the cars in 2 years. Look out. Kurt Busch. And then Tricky Ricky Stenhouse, two-time Super Speedway winner. Look out. Keep an eye on him and Chris Buescher, his teammate. Row 12, Matt Dinabetto and Brad Keselowski. That's going to be a good one to keep an eye on. Bad Brad. Row 13, Denny Hamlin going for 3 straight, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, 3 straight. And his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. Going to be a fantastic row there.
There's Rookie of the Year Cole Custer alongside Joey Gase in the 14th row. Double Xfinity champ Tyler Reddick with Chase Briscoe. Eric Jones now driving for King Richard Petty and 62-year-old 1990 winner Derek Cope. Quinn Houff in his second 500, and Ross Chastain moves to the Chip Ganassi team. Cody Ware makes his second Daytona 500, and the youngest driver in the field, 21-year-old Anthony Alfredo. Wisconsin's Josh Bilicki is in his first 500, and B.J. McLeod in a brand new team that he co-owns with Matt Tifft. Then the drivers who were added to the field based on qualifying time, the Xfinity champ Austin Cindric, who won yesterday, and Kaz Grala from Massachusetts.
Let's say we dial up Denny Hamlin. Hey, Denny, this is Jeff and Clint and Mike up in the Fox Sports booth. How about you?
I got you.
Well, man, all the talk about 3 in a row, all the talk about being a new owner. How excited are you to just get in the car and get back to business?
Definitely ready to go to work. You know, this is my first passion is being a driver, and you know, the opportunity today to do something no one else has done for my FedEx team is at the top of my priority list. So hopefully things work out. You know, I just want a shot inside 5 laps to go and give myself an opportunity.
All right, Denny, it's Boyer's turn. Man, you got to wake up, bud. You're coming to green here. This is the Daytona 500, the big one. Your chance to go 3 in a row in such a prestigious race. How are you going to do that? How do you find yourself in that top 5 in the running at the end of these things, and what's your plan to do that?
You know, I think I just got to trust my instincts, you know, not second guess whatever move it is that I'm going to make. I don't know whether it's going to be aggressive at the beginning or if it's going to be to lay back, but ultimately I'm going to feel the temperature of the field, see what moves they're making, and if it's a comfortable time for me to go to the front, then I will. If not, I've got a long time to get there.
All right, buddy, good luck. Quest for history, bud. We'll be watching.
10-4.
Well, let's take a look at the newest Toyota team on track today with the Toyota Rev Up to Green.
Daytona 500 winner Denny Hamlin with Bubba Wallace as the sole driver. Focused on inclusion and diversity within the NASCAR community, Wallace is regarded for his work on and off the track. Through their partnership with Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing, 2311 Racing reestablishes Wallace to familiar territory and a place where he knows how to win. From an empty shop to building the first number 23 Camry, this team is ready to make their official debut for this year's Daytona 500.
All right, let's check with our crew chief, Larry McReynolds. He's got his toolbox open and he's ready to tell us what's going to happen on a day that started out with rain showers, then had a good bit of sunshine, and now the clouds are coming.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, teams prepare for this race for months before they ever get here. And normally when you get here, you get a ton of practice. These drivers have less than 1 hour of practice all week long. I get a feeling there's a lot of anxiety about what they have. And Mike, I get a feeling also who goes to victory lane, they won't talk about how fast their race car was. They'll talk about how good it drove.
All right, let's get down to pit road for late breaking stories.
Well, Mike, at 45 years old, Kevin Harvick is as competitive as ever, and he's ready to win this race for the second time. They brought a brand new race car, and they say it's the best and the fastest car they've ever had. Vince Welch.
Well, Brad Keselowski will start this race in a backup car at the rear of the field, but he said it doesn't matter. The backup is as good as the primary. Keselowski has won 34 times and a championship. He's won all the big ones, but never the Daytona 500. He says he wants it, and he wants it bad, and he wants it today. Regan Smith.
Kyle Busch is 0 for 15 in the Daytona 500, but the two-time champion and 57-time race winner feels very good about how his car is handling for today. He's going to check that last box later this afternoon is what he feels like.
Thanks, folks. We're ready to race. WWE SmackDown airs Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, and SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks is going to wave the green flag to start this Daytona 500. Corvette pace car makes the turn to pit road, and here they come. Green flag, the 63rd Daytona 500 is underway.
You are clear. He is not too wide right behind you. One back your lane. One back your lane. Second lane's got a little run. Bottom lane's coming back to you. Get back to the bottom. Get back to the bottom. And he's with you in there. Inside. Ford's with you. Three got a huge shove from the 10. You're fine here. You got the 4 and the 18 tight with you. Still inside. You're clear low. They're tight with you out back. Alpha's clear low. Both clear to the... by 1. Still by half to the 9. Still 1 back top 9. There you go. Bottom's got a little run here. Even now. Even.
Hearing the driver spotters up on the roof as Alex Bowman, the Daytona 500 pole sitter for the second time, leads lap 1.
Well, we've been talking all week long, Mike, as we led to the Daytona 500 about working with one another. There goes Kevin Harvick trying to go by our leader, Alex Bowman, but Kyle Busch up in that outside lane. But we've been talking about manufacturers working together. I thought for sure when I saw that 48 Ally Chevrolet jump down in front of Austin Dillon at the start of this race, that was orchestrated. But no, it didn't take long. He moved to that outside lane, Clint.
Yeah, in this type of racing, you got friends out there. Those friends are your teammates and your allies. Your allies are the manufacturers. You're going to see Mustangs finding each other, Camrys finding each other, Chevrolets finding each other. That's the name of the game. You see the 11 going to the back. Maybe he's looking for Bubba right there, huh?
Well, Clint, you were asking about how he's going to do it. Well, he's in the back now.
Harvick leads lap number 2. And as we run lap number 3, a tradition that began in 2002, the Richard Childress Racing crew members raise 3 fingers, and so do many, many fans, as we remember the great Dale Earnhardt, who lost his life here on the final lap of the 2001 500, and whose greatest legacy is not his 7 championships, not all those wins, but that NASCAR took a leadership role in driver safety, and since that fatality, NASCAR has not had another one in any of its 3 national racing series. Caution at the end of lap number 3. Spanaway, Washington's Derek Cope, the winner here in 1990. And who did he beat? Dale Earnhardt on the last lap. 62-year-old Cope is into the wall here on the 3rd lap in number 15.
Looks like maybe a tire went down. It just happened very slowly as he came into turn 3.
Yeah, you could see him moving to 3 wide and trying to navigate around him. I agree. Obviously, the right side's got so much damage you can't hardly tell if the right rear went. Oh, Wait, is that because of the damage, Jeff, or is that,
Well, I think it
what caused the
started with
damage?
the flat tire that then put him in the wall, and then eventually that carcass came off.
This was scheduled to be Cope's final race. He had not raced a Cup car in the last 16 years, doing this one-off ride here today.
Mike, I really don't see anybody coming to pit road here. You know, the first stage is 65 laps. The fuel window is somewhere around 35 laps. So really pitting here does nothing for you.
Under caution, let's take a look at today's race analysis, sponsored by Fox Nation. It takes 200 laps around this 2.5-mile tri-oval to go 500 miles, and the race will be run in 3 stages. The first 2 stages, 65 laps each. The final stage is 70 laps. Pit road speed will be 55 miles an hour. And Larry tells us the fuel window, you can go 34 to 38 laps on 1 tank of race gas.
A lot that plays into that, Jeff. When you get strung out, this is a track that you can actually go part throttle. You can get in that draft, start easing out of the gas, saving fuel. So the strategy kind of plays a role in all of this.
No doubt about that. There's many ways. As a matter of fact, you got Denny Hamlin at the back. He might be trying to save some fuel being that far back.
Now, you know about the big game, but Fox Bet Super 6 is not done giving away free cash today. It's not too late to win Clint's money.
Not just free cash, it's Clint's money.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it.
Make sure you jump on the free bet. Fox Bet Super 6 app. Go to this one. Stage 2 race, $10,000.
Now, this is new. It's a Stage 2 contest. And here are some of the questions. How many cars will be out of the race at the end of Stage 2?
Well, I don't know if you saw the pre-race. Jeff said about half of them. 21 cars. The biggest mover, number of cautions, manufacturer. It's all there. Get in your picks.
Time.
Hey, send in some questions to me. I'll help you try to get Clint's money.
Boys, I got to sell something here. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app for free and answer the 6 questions about Stage 2 for your chance to win.
And while all that's going on, we got Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, our top 2 cars, teammates at Stewart-Haas Racing.
Now, the green light at the head end of pit road above the wall is on. So when it's green light, pit road is open under this caution flag.
Doesn't look like any takers so far.
You might get some of those guys towards the back to come in and top off.
And in case you're wondering, or if you've looked at the forecast, if we get to halfway, 100 laps. Anytime after that, if the race has to be called, it's official. 5 laps complete in the Daytona 500. Under caution at Daytona, look at the left rear of Bubba Wallace's car. He had to start the race in the back due to inspection failure. He and Derek Cope got together on the racetrack. Cope ended up in the wall out of the race. Bubba in the pits making repairs, but he is back on track.
Well, we wondered how Derek Cope cut down a tire. It's very possible that contact between those two is what caused that. Pretty lucky, though, for Bubba Wallace that he was able to get on pit road and fix some of that damage.
In partnership with Netflix's new NASCAR show, The Crew, Busch is interviewing for a spot on Kevin Harvick's race crew for this season. Tweet your answer to each question during the race for your chance to win. Here's Kevin with the first question.
I've been racing most of my life, but winning never gets old. If you joined my crew, how would you help me celebrate in victory lane?
I can tell you how I would.
You
Pretty
can't.
easy.
You are ineligible, Boyer. Tell you that right now.
Some of the product.
All right, 6 laps completed. They're coming to complete 7, and they will do so under green. Ford's up front. Kevin Harvick outside Eric Almirola, Christopher Bell, Ryan Newman, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, and we're back to green.
Clear down. 6 get a push for the 22. Still clear. 10 to 9.
That's Tim Fedewa, Kevin Harvick spotter.
Clear. Outside now. 6 tight. He's off you. 2 by 2 behind you. 6 is out there by himself. 22 trying to get to him. 10 green.
Man, how cool is it to see Ryan Newman challenging for the lead again at Daytona?
Thinking the same thing. And look, Joey Logano is going to push him to be the sole leader right now. That is so cool.
4 Fords up front, then Christopher Bell's Toyota and Ryan Preece's Chevrolet, third on the outside.
You know, one of the things we've been talking about all week was Ford and where they were out on qualifying day. Cars just didn't show the speed that the Chevrolets did, and then all of a sudden we get to the draft and look what we have up front.
They just seem to not only have the speed, Clint, but have the stability to really get on one another's bumpers and push.
You definitely have to have speed down here. That's part of the equation, but that old girl's got a handle.
3 wide off turn 2, Matt DiBenedetto, the 21. That white red roofed Wood Brothers Ford making it 3 wide with Eric Jones and Richard Petty's Chevrolet in the middle.
Always a debate here early in this race. Do you want to take those risks and take it 3 wide here in the opening laps of the Daytona 500? 500 miles. You got a long way to go.
And that spotter's already saying 3 wide. Inside, outside. Spotter communication is so important on this racetrack. They've been working on it. That's the hardest thing about coming down here in limited practice and things that we've had down here. They only have, the duels is pretty much it. Very little practice time as you're working on qualifying, some speed, things like that.
Chase Elliott pinned on the inside, that number 7. That's the new team Corey LaJoie drives for. There's Preece to the outside as Elliott, a series champion and most popular driver, works his way forward.
I know Chase hasn't, he didn't sit in the front row like some of his teammates. He didn't show a lot of spectacular speed in his duel, but I heard that he really likes the way his race car is driving.
Looking back from Joey Logano and Matt DiBenedetto in the 21. Now teammates right below them, Corey LaJoie in the 7, Jamie McMurray in the 77. How about that 43 in the middle, Eric Jones?
You saw the high lane sort of got stacked up.
Whoa! Closed up right there.
Yeah, it closed up because Joey Logano knew that run was coming.
And that's that communication we were talking about. That spotter, his spotter told him, block, get down, move down, make that block, stop that pass, stop the momentum.
Uh-oh, look at the middle. That's where everything is stacked up 3 wide, bumper to bumper.
You know, Eric Jones has made quite a move. Remember, he had to start this race at the rear of the field due to an engine change, so it hadn't taken him long to get to the top 10.
See those Chevrolets lined up in that outside lane. You got Ford, Toyota on the inside lane.
You see some pretty big pushes by that 3-car Austin Dillon. He won his dual race, really, really fast. He's pushing hard, very aggressive. Obviously, you're seeing more of that today.
Not a lot of cars in that middle lane, but they don't appear to be getting shot backwards like we often see when they're 3 wide.
Well, there's a little bit of help, and you know, there is the way the air gets funneled into the middle. It'll open up the door just like this for Joey Logano. You can make some moves, but you do have to have somebody behind you breaking a little bit of that air as it trips over that rear spoiler.
And you also have to have confidence in those cars around you. As you come into the corners, that thing wants to get loose. As you exit the corners, a lot of times you'll get tight in that pocket of air that he's talking about. But there's definitely a pocket. If you use it right and you have the right help behind you, you can go to your advantage.
And no surprise that it's Joey Logano leading the charge on that middle lane. He's an aggressive super speedway racer.
Now Logano drops to the inside. Kurt Busch in the number 1 now has the middle. A video dropped earlier today in which Busch hints at retirement, possibly at the end of this season.
Long year.
Yes, and it's just started.
Well, he does have the most starts of anybody in the field today.
And he's the only driver in this race that was in the 2001 Daytona 500.
That's like back in your era, Jeff. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Almirola Bowman.
Oh, the 24's on his side. Remember what I said, Clint, about 21 cars? I don't know if we got there, but man, that took out a lot of race cars and a lot of great race cars in there.
I know Eric Almirola was one of the front ones up front, so anytime that happens up front, you're going to take out a lot of them. There's Jamie McMurray.
All these cars stuck in that mode. We've had heavy rain down here overnight.
Tyler Reddick. That is a dozen of destruction.
When we talk about being aggressive, bump drafting, switching lanes here early on, only 14 laps into this 200-lap race.
Oh, Eric Almirola, who won his dual race, thought he had a great shot for the 500. All torn up. Here is Almirola's audio.
I have no vitals. Yeah, I'm okay. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, fast race car.
And you saw Ryan Newman climbing out okay. Christopher Bell, new to the Joe Gibbs Toyota team in the 20. And Eric Almirola racing hard here. Watch the 10 and the 20 down on the bottom.
You can see the outside 48 Alex Bowman doing a little side drafting to the right side of Eric Almirola.
And I see a gap in between Eric and the 20 car.
And look at the push coming from Kyle Busch to his teammate Christopher Bell. Now that's going to get him to the rear bumper.
Big shot.
He just got over on that right side.
I could tell you another part of that equation, Jeff. These cars, they have skew in the rear ends. That's obviously for speed and make the cars go fast, make them pull up to other cars. It's also, in my experience, makes them squirrely. When that car hits him, it pushes that car into the steer of the rear end, and it can turn you in a heartbeat.
We're so reminiscent when Eric Almirola lost the lead in the closing yards of this race in 2018.
He was along for the ride. As soon as that contact hit, it just turned his car right. He took the words right out of my mouth. Unbelievable. Crushing blow to so many teams, so many efforts that it goes into having fast cars and being at this Daytona 500. That was a lot of heavy hitters in this one.
We're going to ride with Ryan Newman through this.
Well, look at that 24 car go up on the side on 2 wheels.
Smashed just as badly as he got with his primary car
that's
Thursday
his
night.
backup car.
At least a dozen cars involved. Oh, David Reagan torn up as well.
I'm back to 2 wide, but he's in the middle lane. Got to run with him in the middle lane. Airline's got a little bit more of a run. 43 closing on you. But still has got spinning top, spinning top, spinning top.
Just nothing you can do when it happens up front like that.
Carnage in the first 15 laps of the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 1981. That is stock car racing's king, Richard Petty, scoring his 7th Daytona 500 win, a mark that will likely never be equal. Well, Mother Nature didn't like that wreck either, because a couple of lightning bolts within 3 miles of the racetrack have brought us to a red flag until that moves away. Here is another look. Eric Almirola turned into Alex Bowman, and it's on.
It just doesn't take a whole lot, you know, and especially if that front bumper hits the rear bumper in the wrong spot. And first he got him pretty good. You know, Christopher Bell got his front bumper to the rear bumper of Almirola on the left side. That turned him sideways, but then unfortunately as he moved back and forth, he hit him in the right side and spun him around.
Riding with Kurt Busch. That's Tyler Reddick right behind.
Stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low.
You can see is how fast he got to the impact. Didn't take long to get to the crash, does it, Jeff?
No, it doesn't, especially when it happens to one of those guys running second or third. It's just absolutely nothing you can do, especially when you're on the back straightaway, because you're pretty much blind. All you can see is the car ahead of you, maybe one car ahead of that, so you're listening to your spotter. You see that 20 car of Christopher Bell getting a big push from the 18, his teammate Kyle Busch. Now he's got a good head of steam here. He tries to line up with him. At the last second, though, he actually touched him maybe a little bit off to the right, and that's what got Eric Almirola going sideways.
Look at the 37, Ryan Priest. He missed that by about half an inch.
Well, that's that luck part of the equation we talk about.
I mean, how difficult is this to win? That right there shows you why it's so hard to win the Daytona 500.
Jamie McMurray trying to win it for the second time, and our friends at Advent Health put a heart rate monitor on Jamie with his permission. There it is on the left of your screen, coming off turn 2, 138 beats per minute. Here we go.
Now he's got to run. He had to check up. He's trying to get through the middle, so his heart rate's starting to go up already.
Worst case scenario, too, has that big run coming up on what we all know is happening.
Jumps on the brakes here, a little wheel hop. He's in it at that point.
Look at that heart rate skyrocketing.
Jamie McMurray started this race at a heart rate of 100, so that tells you the intensity early on the Daytona 500 for a guy like Jamie McMurray.
You'll see the list of 16 cars involved in the wreck, but let me put this in perspective. 155 was Jamie's max heart rate in that crash. When Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, that was supposed to be computer controlled. There was a glitch. They gave him the controls for the final touchdown. His heart rate spiked at 156.
Why do you know that? How do you know that?
It will just keep on coming, Clint.
It's unbelievable. I tell you what was equally as unbelievable is how quickly it moved back down. But I'm going to tell you, that wasn't bad. That was not bad for a heart rate with, what, 15, 16 cars piled up in front of you, 200 mile an hour. I'm going to tell you, he's pretty good shape, Jeff.
I'm pretty sure my heart rate would have been spiked to the roof if I was landing on the moon. Man.
A lot of good cars torn up in that one, and nowhere to go, no way to avoid it. I mentioned Priest. He got very lucky, skilled and lucky. A lot of people's luck ran out right there.
A lot of guys did, and you know, Mike, you're just along for the ride. There's nothing that you can do in those situations when they're all stacked on top of one another. And you know, this is why these guys got to be a little more careful of this bump drafting. They do it so casually and get so comfortable with it, Clint, that it just becomes a natural thing. Now, those that didn't get caught up in that, it's a total reset. Unfortunately, it came at a huge cost to 16 cars.
So, Clint, what do you think of Denny Hamlin's decision to drop way to the back there with Bubba Wallace? How's that look now?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what I was going at. That's the reason it's so hard to win three Daytona 500s in a row. It's decisions like that. Hey, it's going to happen early. Let's get out of here. He talked about it in the pre-race show, and he just lived it again. And by the way, he's living to see another lap.
Well, and I think it was by choice that Denny Hamlin decided to go to the back early in this race to play it safe. We'll have to find out if we get a chance to talk to him. But Bubba Wallace, that was not the case. He actually took a bad situation, and that sent him to the back because of fixing the damage on pit road. But end up being pretty lucky for him in this situation.
But the other thing we talk about is teammates, teamwork, and how they use that for your strategy to set yourself up to the end of this race to be in position. You've got two Hendrick cars out. They're in that wreck. Both Roush cars, two front row cars. That is a huge part of the equation of getting yourself in a position to win this race.
Now, we have talked about the skew that is built into these cars and how that may well have been a contributing factor in this crash. Here's Larry Mack.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you would think that these cars go straight down the straightaway just like your passenger car will on the highway, but they do things with the rear end housing to try to get the rear spoiler out of the air. That rear spoiler is 9 inches tall, so if you can skew that rear end to get that right rear corner out of the air, then obviously it's going to help the drag of the race car. So what Clint talked about, this is what you would do at a Daytona or Talladega. You're going to skew it the opposite way. So when Christopher Bell got into him right there on that right rear corner, it was already turned just a little bit, and it just turns it straight right when you get up there and bump it when you've got that toe or that skew for a Daytona or Talladega.
So there is some of the cause. Here is the effect.
Oof. big crunch to the front nose. And you know, Eric Almirola, he's prepared for this. He's looking in his mirror, spotters telling him big run coming. You're just holding the wheel straight, knowing that bump is going to come. And then if you're Christopher Bell, you're trying to square up on the rear bumper. It just looked to me like one car moved left and the other car moved right at the worst possible time as they made contact.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. As you're looking in the mirror, that spotter's telling you, all right, 3, 2, 1. That's telling you how close he's getting. As soon as he feels that, as soon as you feel that big bump coming, that car's going to do something. It's going to go one way or another. You got to be able to react. Unfortunately, there was nothing he could do. It literally spun out.
In 2018, Almirola was leading the 500 on the backstretch in the final lap, and he got Marshall Dillon. Austin won the race, and Almirola was climbing out of his car in a location very similar to where that car comes to rest right now.
And when you're inside the car at those speeds and the wreck starts happening, it just feels like it takes forever.
Oh.
You could see there Kurt Busch just spinning around on like a top, getting hit, spinning him left, spinning him right. Look at the damage to the rear bumper area of Ryan Newman there. He must have made heavy contact to that wall.
You're right, Jeff. I mean, when you're upwards of 200 miles an hour, it takes a long time to come to a stop from a crash. It takes a long time to wreck like that.
Now, the other factor here is it rained this morning. We've had a lot of rain this weekend. Your car goes off in that grass. It's in the mud. The splitter digs in. You got a wrecked race car, even if you don't hit anything.
Well, these teams are phenomenal at fixing these race cars up good enough to get back into contention. But unfortunately for several of them that maybe didn't have tremendous damage, they are stuck and going to lose multiple laps because of it.
On board with Ryan Newman here. Oh. That's the one you can't see. You think you're doing right, you think you have a hole, and then that car comes, hit him in the right rear, and turned him around.
Ryan climbs out, goes over to check on Kurt Busch.
This guy not afraid to get a little muddy.
I tell you what he sees is he's stuck. He's going to survive to see another lap here. He's just stuck in the mud. Oh, Ryan, the old farmer boy, is going to help him out.
I wonder if he was looking at the right side of Kurt Busch's car, looking for some of his paint.
No, I think he was definitely. He was just
giving him a
looking to see what he
damage
had.
report.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Okay. So we're under the red flag. Drivers have climbed from their cars, and under red flag rules, the teams cannot work on the cars. They can walk around them and survey the damage and figure out what to do once the red flag is lifted. 16 cars pile up on the back straightaway at Daytona. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by KFC. Earlier this afternoon, WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks waved the green flag to start the race. Here's Michael Cole with a preview of what's ahead this week on SmackDown.
Are you ready? Elimination Chamber combatants collide when Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro battle Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Sami Zayn in a 6-man tag team match. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Cascarala comes to pit road for tires and fuel. So does BJ McLeod. They give up the front spots. A number of drivers came in to top off here to try to go the distance of 65 laps in stage number 1.
Bunch of Chevrolets up front to get us back going, and then some Fords. One Toyota, Denny Hamlin there in the top 10.
Now those words you've been waiting 6.5 hours to hear. Green flag next time by.
I love those words, Mike. I'm ready.
Man, with all the damage under that caution, it's going to be interesting to see who works with who, who's looking for who. Obviously see 2 teammates starting on the inside right here. Interesting to see how they do.
From 16th on back, just pitted, Kyle Busch on back. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Ryan Preece, and Ricky Stenhouse. 5 Chevrolets at the front of the field on this restart. Then the Fords of Custer and Cindric, Hamlin's Toyota, Harvick and Keselowski in Fords. Those are your top 10. Well, fans, thanks for sticking with us as we get ready to restart the 63rd Daytona 500. They approach the Geico restart zone. Anywhere in that area, the control car, the leader, Chase Elliott, can hit the gas, and we'll ride along and listen. Here we go.
Door. You got a better push than he does. Even a gap and a half coming to you. Here comes a pretty good push.
Austin Dillon getting that push from the 37 of Ryan Preece, takes the lead. Well, Mike, I really thought after what we just saw with that big crash to go to the red flag that we would see these guys maybe being a little more careful when it comes to the bump drafting.
Saw a couple good shots in the exact same place that it happened earlier. Getting into turn 3, big shot to the 9.
Preece went way high. He's going to get shuffled out.
And all 29 cars on track made more than minimum speed that lap and are eligible to continue. Cole Custer on the outside. Right behind him, you ride with Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he's not going to go to the back anymore, folks. He's there. He's in the front. You're going to see the aggressive and calculated Denny Hamlin for the rest of this race.
And comfortable up there. I either want to be up front or in the back. I do not want to be in the middle of this thing, especially right now.
Oh, he's going to go 3 wide of Cole Custer.
Speaking of the middle.
Boy, how about that move? He pushes Cole Custer out there. Is right on his rear bumper and able to just drive right by him on the inside.
And that's what I love about Daytona. This man dropped to the back, one wreck, change of events. He's competing to lead this race.
And Cole Custer's going all the way towards the back.
2 Daytona 500 winners on point. Dillon on the inside, Hamlin, 3-time winner on the outside.
Clear both lanes, whatever you need here. 2 far out, 2 back to both, 1.5 to both. Top's going to be tightest when it gets there. Keeping.
Kyle Busch lined up 16th for that restart. He's up in the top 8. It's a Candyman on the outside. 4 cars back in the outside lane.
I love something that I heard right there. Chris Lambert, the spotter for Denny Hamlin, too far out. If you get too far out in front, it's so easy for those cars that are lined up behind you to get a big run and build so much momentum that you can't hold them back. You can't block them.
And even if it's a teammate behind you, you'll get such a run that he's got to go. If he hit him in the rear end, it would spin him around and cause another crash. Denny did a great job, him and his teammate, of controlling that block, moving down, moving up, slowing those runs down, keeping them in front.
Hard to believe it. We started with, what, 5 Toyotas. We're down to 4. Bell's all the way back in 18, but 3 of them are up towards the front. Saw that rear bumper on William Byron. They tried to repair it. Boy, a lot of sheet metal there. Ooh, who was it? They got a piece of it there.
Yeah, that was actually the fender too. That's.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't just that rear fascia, was it? That,
no.
That's made out of a different material. That was actually the left rear quarter panel.
If the rear fascia is gone, it looked like it's still hanging on there, because you cannot run here per the NASCAR rule if that rear fascia, that rear bumper's gone. It's still hanging on there, though.
And Larry, he'll need to pit, because if he loses that out on the track, they can't go get another one, can they?
Yeah, because that's a mandatory piece. They can, Mike.
Thank you.
They can replace that, yes.
Flagger's got a black flag in his hand, boys. I'd say the 24 is going to have to pit and get that fixed.
I mistakenly said Kyle was back at row 8 on the restart. He was until those cars peeled off at the last minute to get fuel before we restarted. So
now these guys are starting to think about 500 miles, Mike. they finally jockeyed for position as the black flag waves for William Byron. That rear bumper cover and fascia is just about to get ripped off that race car. But these guys are now single file. They're in that mode of, okay, what do we got to do here to get to the end of this stage and then battle it out among ourselves for those stage points?
We need to ride. Ride right there. I like where you're at. We're not in the lead. I don't care. Just ride. Make some laps. Log laps.
And there's something about that high line, Clint. As soon as that leader starts running that high line and nobody starts fighting them for that position, they all seem to get single file real quick.
I call it the Dale Jr. line. He was the one that started that thing, and as soon as it happened, everybody tries to. If you get in the lead, you try to get up there and make it happen.
Byron
guys,
makes his
just to clarify on William Byron, he's on pit road. He met minimum speed. He doesn't have to worry about that clock anymore. They can take as much time as they want to repair that car.
Thanks, Larry. 24 cars are on the lead lap, back to the 78 of B.J. McLeod. McMurray and Reddick are 2 laps down. Byron 3 laps. Truex and Kurt Busch 4 laps back in 29th position. 11 cars are out of the race. 36 laps complete, race fans. Instead of going to a commercial break, we're going to stay right here and go Toyota all out.
Hey, you see this?
I'm excited to return to the Toyota racing family. They put their faith in me at a young age, which I am incredibly grateful.
Hamlin on point.
Whoa, wreck. Quinn Houff and Chase Briscoe.
And caution is out for the 3rd time at lap 38.
I had just looked up naturally and was looking where the 14 was. He was back in like a 3-car pack off of the field a little bit.
Now those cars were on the lead lap in 22nd and 23rd positions.
Doesn't look like Chase has got
right
too much
damage. But he's rolling slow, Clint.
And the window net's down on Quinn Houff, which means that he is okay, but the car is not.
See, he's just trying to nurture that left front tire from coming apart and tearing up the front fender, limping back to pit road.
Yeah, we're going to have to back it up a little bit more. They're already spun right there.
Clearly contact or something happened between these two guys that got him collected and went for a heck of a spin down the front straightaway.
Looked like the whole right rear was down on Quinn Houff's car.
Yeah, he definitely was in.
Here is
more
what
damage to
Houff said.
What, left rear?
I don't know. It's off the tire. The tire blew because I ran over something when he threw it off and hit my windshield.
He ran over the quarter panel that came off the 24 car.
I was going to say the same thing. We saw when that quarter panel came off the 24 car, William Byron, it flew back and hit a car, and it was the 00 of Quinn Houff that definitely hit it first.
In addition to that panel, which is a fiberglass-like material, something was off there throwing sparks. There was metal support structure, and that's likely what cut that tire down.
Yeah, I think that was the back half of the quarter panel, and there's
left
the
rear
00.
quarter panel. Definitely metal. And B.J. McLeod run over it as well. Another piece.
So, good chance, right? As you heard him say on the radio, left rear tire goes down. You're along for the ride at that point, and somewhere within that, Chase Briscoe was just an innocent
Spun out right in his lap.
Right. You saw Quinn Houff climbing into the ambulance to take the mandatory ride to the Advent Health Care Center, and the right front is torn up on Briscoe.
He was trying so hard.
Got to be very careful to.
But he was going to go a lap down, and you know what happens when you think you're going to go a lap down, you start going a little faster, and that tire comes apart.
That's a lot of damage
fender
there.
And hood off.
Such a tough thing to weigh out there. You're right, Jeff. Can't go a lap down, and you know the spotter the crew chief's in his ear telling him, man, make sure you stay on the lead lap. It's so important. But this early in the game, it's probably a lot better than having that huge damage on the front of that car.
Third caution flag in the Daytona 500. This one for Quinn Houff. Welcome back to the Daytona 500 on Fox, brought to you by NASCAR's premier partners. 40 laps complete, working the third caution of the race. Denny Hamlin has been out in front for the last 9 laps. Brad Keselowski second, a Toyota and a Ford. Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, the top 5. There's the running order on the left of your screen, with now 22 cars on the lead lap. Quinn Houff joins the 11 cars out of the race from the first and second caution flags.
They're going to make sure they got this thing completely buttoned up, taped up. Whatever they got to do to fasten that thing to it to keep it on the track this next time it goes out there.
Martin Truex 4 laps down, using this caution flag to pit. Now Jamie McMurray 1 lap down. He's whistling around here. I believe he's the free pass car. So on the caution flag, the first car that is not on the lead lap is awarded the chance to free pass around and gain a lap back during that caution period.
Still in it, Jamie Mack. Keep it going.
We'll check in on our Fox colleague throughout the race tonight. There's our Fox visor cam, and thank you, Bubba Wallace, for wearing that for us. The digital dash, all part of the electronic engine management system. Big wide mirror there.
Oh yeah, you want to see anything and everything that might be coming to your outside, inside. You see that side mirror
Interesting to see the orange line in it. What is that, Jeff?
Well, I know that's something that Denny puts into his left side mirror, so I feel confident that Bubba's adopted that too. And it just gives you an idea of depth perception of that car that's behind you. Maybe they're creeping up to your left rear, and you know when they cross above that line that they're at the plane of your rear bumper.
I noticed he's only got 2, Jeff. When when I was side by side with you, you had what?
10.
5. One on you at all times.
So that little round mirror,
I was like, where's Boyer?
kept there to the inside of the car. Unlike the mirror on your passenger car, that's all for aero, so it doesn't create any drag on the outside. But it's effective because you don't use that for the positioning of the car that might be in your blind spot. Don't you just want to know, is he there or is he not there?
Well, you're very limited too what NASCAR will allow you to do there as far as the size of the mirror and what you can see. It's not like you can just put a big mirror and hang it out the left side window like on your street car.
And as things progress, years went by, that gap in between that window net keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter, which creates a different side mirror for everybody.
Well, and a lot of it, Clint, is safety. Look right here on Chase Elliott's car. You can see that opening, as you mentioned, is very small, and that's to prevent any debris, tire, anything from coming into that left side window. So that's a good safety feature, but it's also created a little bit of an aerodynamic opportunity there for these race teams. They'll take advantage of anything they can.
All right, Larry, they keep shutting these cars off as they roll around under caution. I mean, come on, the gas is free, right?
Yeah, I mean, what thing if you're saving fuel, even if you know you're going to pit at the end of stage 1, the more fuel you can save, the least amount they have to dump in it, Mike. Plus, it also cools the car back down when they shut the engine off.
Oh.
I was going to say, and at the end of this thing, if you need it, it's priceless.
Right.
I noticed here, looking at Joey Logano, that shield, it's not clear, right? So did they, it may be just a smoke shield so he can see through it even at nighttime, but normally I would have gone to a clear shield at night. I don't know if they even thought about that. But also there's something on the top of his helmet I'm trying to figure out what that is.
He ran that shield in the duels. Noticed the same thing, and it caught me off guard. Everybody's eyes are different. Everybody's sensitive to different things. You always never know what somebody's going to. Obviously, Denny's got a clear one, but I do agree. I have no idea what that white thing is on the top of his helmet. Definitely different.
And there's a lot of different helmet manufacturers. Hamlin likes a Schubert. A lot of drivers like Stilo or Bell.
Yeah, Rye.
Yes.
And a lot of it is the inlet. You see in the back of Kurt Busch's helmet where that hose comes in. That puts a little fresh, cool air. It's not air conditioning necessarily, but it just gives you something to keep you a little cooler and fresher inside that helmet.
Go to the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Still time to play Clint's Stage 2 contest and take his money.
Win $10,000 for sure.
All right, we're going to come green this time. Hamlin, Keselowski. Hamlin elects the outside. That is the leader's choice, which lane to restart in. And we're back to green. Bubba Wallace gives Brad Keselowski a big push, and he's way out front.
Not afraid to push. Bubba Wallace gave that 2 car. Oh, he's going to go 3 wide through the middle.
Going to the front, baby. Here we come.
Is he going to reconnect with this boss man up there in front, Denny Hamlin?
And look at that. 3 Toyotas right at the front of the field.
And that's what, at this stage in the race, you're Brad Keselowski. You take note of what just went on there with Bubba Wallace. You thought you might have a drafting partner and a friend. Not at all.
Not that time, anyway.
Now watch how Bubba got that momentum to drive right up through the middle. 22, Joey Logano.
You see, the 23 of Bubba Wallace Jr. pushes the 2 of Brad Keselowski out there. Then he gets a huge push from Joey Logano. The momentum on the 2 of Keselowski slowed down. That allowed Bubba Wallace and that 23 just go right on by. Here's the visor cam. We'll see it from the best angle you could possibly ask for.
See ya.
Yeah.
You could hear the RPMs picking up as he's getting the draft, getting that push.
I'll tell you another thing, just in case you're sitting at home thinking, I wonder what this Denny Hamlin's going to do when his own car gets up there. He blocked him and put him to the back just like he did everybody else.
Hamlin and Kyle Busch up front. Ryan Preece in a Chevy in third. Austin Cindric in his Daytona 500 debut in fourth. Yesterday, Cindric did what hadn't been done since Randy LaJoie in 1997. The defending Xfinity Series champion coming to Daytona and winning the season opener.
And it was a great race yesterday. I was fortunate enough to call it with Tony Stewart.
You must feel like you've been in the booth for 24 hours.
I said fortunate enough. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. We really had fun.
Jamie.
And his win yesterday was the first for the Penske organization. And tonight, this is his first Cup Series start. He'll do 4 to 5 races this year. The man on top of the box, that's Miles Stanley. He's actually the race engineer for Ryan Blaney. So he was doing double duty this weekend. And the pit crew, by the way, they're the ones that went to victory lane last night. So they're double dipping, having a great time in their first outing.
Looking very good right now. Fourth and the first Ford in the race. Preece in third, the first Chevrolet, 2 Toyotas out front.
You know, Jeff, when you come down here in speed week now, not speed weeks, in limited practice and things like that, it's almost an advantage to have that Xfinity race under your belt.
I agree. I mean, the duels were good, but everybody was really protecting their race cars to try to make sure that that's the car they started this race with. But that Xfinity race might be the best practice session you could possibly have. Here's the 22, Joey Logano getting into the rear bumper of Cole Custer.
Well, Custer moved up the racetrack, anticipating Logano's run, didn't want him to go by. And look, they lost a bit of distance to the front runners that way.
Well, as this thing starts to get single file, if you get stuck on that inside lane, you're just looking as fast as you can to move up, even if you know you're going to block somebody that has a big run like Joey Logano did.
By the way, William Byron got back out on track. He is 7 laps down. All right, the caution flag got in the way. Let's try this again, race fans. Instead of going to a commercial break, we're going to stay right here and take you Toyota all out. And up front, 2 of those Joe Gibbs Toyotas, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, we saw in that last restart, Kyle Busch locks onto the rear bumper. Denny Hamlin pushes him to the lead. And even though Bubba Wallace and Brad Keselowski took a run at him, these guys prevailed, running first and second now, leading this train.
Certainly have Coach looking good, don't they? I tell you, in the pre-race show, Jeff, I said I don't think Denny's got a chance. There's no chance. Lady Luck is part of the equation to winning this Daytona 500. Surely they can't strike again. I was looking bad.
And how about Christopher Bell working his way up now into the top 10?
Jeff, how he got way back. They had to come in a second time. When they tried to do fuel only, the car would not take fuel. They had to come back, raise the deck lid to figure out what was going on. That's how he got in the back of the pack.
And in between them, Bubba Wallace in the 23. Brand new race team this year. Somewhat formed from the former Levine family racing. Some personnel and equipment. But they are in 7th place right now. Up front, Denny Hamlin trying to do something only Dale Jr.'s done before. Top 4 in 6 straight super speedway races. We continue with Toyota All Out, the world broadcast premiere of Toyota Racing's The Dream with Bubba Wallace. Here's a look.
Hey, you see this?
I'm excited to return to the Toyota Racing family. They put their faith in me at a young age, which I am incredibly grateful for. This next step for me, though, is for every kid out there with a dream. Along the way, you will face challenges. But trust me, no matter what, stand tall and keep pushing.
I'm ready.
Check out Toyota Racing on their social channels for the complete short film the dream. There's their running order at 51 laps. Remember, 65 is the end of stage 1. That's the 14 you go. You see in the upper left of your screen. Look at third place there, Ryan Preece. Now, a lot's been made of Michael Jordan's entry into racing. He is the second NBA superstar in NASCAR team ownership. Cleveland Cavaliers All-Star center Brad Daugherty is the co-owner of Ryan Preece's third place running car and the Ricky Stenhouse car. Has been for quite a while. What else do Daugherty and Jordan have in common? They're both lifelong race fans since childhood. Vince.
Well, and Brad Daugherty is super proud of the way his JTG Daugherty cars have run this week, especially Preece, considering he came in, did not have a guaranteed spot into the 500. In fact, Daugherty has talked about the fact they don't have the funding to run the entire series season in that 37. They're going to make some smart business decisions, but he said, we've got to take advantage of the opportunities we get. They've got a big one today, and so far, they've taken advantage.
Love it. Showed up down here at Daytona. Got to make this race. Definitely made the race, qualified their way in, running third.
And fellas, I left the blind obvious on the floor. Daugherty and Jordan both played basketball at the University of North Carolina, but everybody knows that.
That's
Kansas kid did.
Obvious. Oh, look at Chase Elliott poking out. Is he coming to pit? No, it's like, man, why is he pulling out right there? Going to go back a couple spots.
Drops from 12th to 14th.
Could be just, you know, trying some things out, see what his race car is going to do. Maybe get a run on some guys. Maybe sometimes in this position, somebody checks up in front of you and you might get a run and make that pass. But obviously Chase Elliott, he's wanting to pull some other cars to the bottom lane and maybe work his way forward before they get to the end of this stage.
Well, he pulled up alongside Joey Logano, and he's still coming by himself on the inside. Picked up 2, got alongside Cole Custer in the 41. Gives a little of that back.
Yeah, but what he's really trying to do is get some others to come with him.
Yep.
You know, he's in a position where he's not going to be able to make any spots by himself. But if he keeps pulling down there, he might get somebody ahead of him, somebody behind him to join him. And if they can build that lane up, they will work their way forward.
Let's jump up to 5th place, where Austin Dillon and his team talk about strategy they might employ at the end of this stage.
Delta 5, we're going to do it lane 3, 4 to go. And the problem is if they start shifting, the top should roll.
Yeah, 10-4, that's what I'm hoping, because the ways back, we're going to have a good run if we do pull out, because we can have some momentum. They're going to try to hang us best as they can.
All right, so what they're talking about is exactly what Chase Elliott's interested in, and maybe they're communicating with him also, but they're going to wait for a few more laps here and try to go together, get a big run, go to the bottom lane, and maybe move themselves forward and get a few other takers to go with them. We saw this play out during the duel.
Jeff, the 3 car has been sitting back there running about 50% throttle because if he can't go 100% stuck back there in the middle of all those cars.
And you could hear him say, the 5 car, I haven't heard a lot about Kyle Larson today, quietly just hovering around 5th, 6th spot. And Austin Dillon feels like he's got somebody that's going to work with him when he makes that move.
And watching that throttle, just think about how much fuel he's saving riding in that pack right there where he's at.
Right behind him, Kyle Larson, new to the Rick Hendrick stable. And if you look closely at the paint scheme on Larson's number 5, not the colors, but the graphic layout, boy, does that look like the car that Ricky Hendrick drove in what's now the Xfinity Series.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of history here for Rick Hendrick and making this move to bring Kyle Larson back to the Cup Series. And that number 5 was their original number that Rick Hendrick started his organization with.
Yeah, back when he was All-Star Racing and Jeff Bodine won their first race on a day when Rick said, if we can't score today, we're going to have to shut it down. They scored, and, well, the rest is history. Kyle Larson 6th as we close down on the end of stage number 1. Joey Logano's a lonely guy. He tried to move up on Ricky Stenhouse on the inside. That didn't go.
These guys just keep shuffling
Ricky.
it. Yep. Nobody wants to ride line further back.
Well, you get that big run. You feel like Superman. Here we go, here we go. You get down there. What the heck? Let's see what we have.
Well, now it's Stenhouse, and it looks like he may get Michael McDowell come up to help. At the end of the stage, the top 10 drivers receive championship points, and the stage winner receives a playoff point that he carries with him all season long.
And Mike, we heard on the radio with Austin Dillon, they're going to go with 5 to go. Some of these guys a little bit further back trying some things before them, but inside 5 to go, watch for more cars to start making some moves because of those stage points. They do want to get further forward, plus helps their pit crew out on pit road when the end of the stage is over and they go down pit road to get that service.
Well, we'll see if anything can break up this Toyota duo at the front. Hamlin and Busch, Preece in a Chevy, Cindric in a Ford, Dillon and Larson in Chevrolets.
And I want to go back to Preece. He qualified into this race, but when he went into the duel, he raced his way in. He was up front pushing hard, and we saw on the last corner him make some pretty aggressive moves to get himself a couple extra positions.
Kid's a racer. I mean, he went over to New Smyrna. Mike, you were telling us in that modified, started at the back, right?
That's right.
Drove his way up, won the race.
That was Wednesday night after qualifying here. Won the John Blewett Memorial in his own modified. Watch Chase Elliott in the 9. Christopher Bell just ahead in that yellow and black car.
Whoa!
Whoa,
Oh,
man.
that was close.
Chase Elliott went to side draft the 20 of Christopher Bell. Thank God that young kid's got some good reflexes, because that turned that car sideways right in the banking.
Definitely got big time loose with that 9 right there on his quarter.
Denny Hamlin has now moved to 6 on the all-time Daytona 500 lap leader list, displacing one Jeff Gordon back to 7th and chasing Bobby Allison for 5th most all-time.
Just a matter of time, Mike, the way Denny Hamlin runs on these super speedways, especially here at Daytona.
5 to go in stage 1. No move yet by those Chevrolets.
You're not going to see anything but green on this leader. You're going to run wide open. There's no lifting, no saving any throttle. And you saw that yellow marker. That's actually where the steering wheel is at. So you'll see in the corner move to the left to turn left. Here they go.
Here they go.
Kevin Harvick.
It's the Fords.
Yeah, the Fords trying to pull Keselowski. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple other guys. There they come.
See who pulls down, tries to block that run.
What run?
Thought about it.
No run. I think you're going to see Ryan Preece pull down. That's who I think you're going to see take a shot at it.
Will Cindric go with him? That's the question.
Well, I don't think Cindric will, but I think the 3 of Austin Dillon, the 5 of Kyle Larson might.
All right, 3 to go in stage 1. Time growing short. At least one lapped car ahead of them. May provide a little bit of a tow.
I'm just going to try it again. Taking 3 more Fords behind him. Oh, Joey's already bailed. He saw what Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did. Oh, a little bump drafting down the back straightaway.
Using Reddick right here at Kevin Harvick. Following suit in that draft. See if he can get a run.
Well, and Stenhouse was being aggressive, pushing Logano, trying to close that gap up so these guys get locked down on the inside.
With 2 laps to go in the stage, pit road will close.
I think that plan for Austin Dillon went from 5 to go to 1 to go. I don't think you're going to see him make a move here as early as we thought they were.
Ryan Preece, the 37, said on the radio, "I'm not pulling out with 3 to go. If I'm pulling out, it's going to be on the last lap," he said with 8 to go. How about Kyle Larson?
Kyle, the talk is now 37 to pull out. Back straight away. Coming back to the stage checker. 3 to go at the line. 3.
Well, that's pretty obvious. That's the plan, except for not for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But the thing is, okay, so that's what they're going to plan. They've talked about on the radio. Now, who's going to counter that move?
Stenhouse wants to get up there with him. There goes Dillon to the bottom. Here goes Larson. Here is Preece. And down come the Toyotas.
Exactly. Kyle Busch was looking for that move. Going to work out for Larson and Austin Dillon. Oh, he got to the outside. Preece got to the outside of the 18, got a big run.
Hamlin will hold him back there. And a lot of jostling as Cindric got into the back of Kyle Larson there. Bubba to the bottom. Hamlin won a league leading 11 stages in 2020. And here they come to the line to complete stage one. Hamlin over Preece and Dillon.
Sorry, Mike got all excited.
It did.
Man, I thought those two guys of Logano and Bubba Wallace Jr. were going to collect one another.
Joey cut him a break right there. Did the right thing. Backed out of it.
He also saw he was going to go below that yellow line. And how about this guy? Is he just
had a decision to make, is what he had.
Yeah.
It all happened on the last lap of stage one. Denny Hamlin, the winner. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Tastes unbelievably delicious. Pit crews at the ready, wearing cameras, wearing lights, and with the tools of their trade at hand. Denny Hamlin leads them onto pit road. Here's Vince.
Ryan Preece in that 37 car going to peel off, pitting from second place. They really like their car, and he has shown it. It's just going to be a 4-tire change. The 3 of Austin Dillon, upper left. He grazed the wall on the backstretch, so they'll give it a look, but otherwise fine. Regan?
Bottom up to your screen, Christopher Bell. That race car is just too loose on entry. The back of it wants to slide out. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin in the 11 has led 35 laps, a little bit tighter than in the duels. He also said he feels like he's slow out front. They told him this really dense air makes the car a little more draggy than it was the other night.
Here's your Ram race off pit road. Won by Hamlin over Bell and Dillon. And Kyle Busch picks up 5 of those 11 positions he lost in the final half lap of stage 1.
Style of Denny right here. Hey, Denny Hamlin, it's Bory up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, 4.
Man, we talked to you at the beginning of the race. Seems like yesterday, but I don't know what I'm more impressed of, to be honest with you. The fact that you pulled out a line didn't like what you saw, went to the back, avoided that big wreck, or the fact that you're now leading the stage and leading this race? Pretty impressive.
Well, honestly, the reception's really bad when I'm on the back stretch. I didn't really hear you, but I'm sure it was super entertaining. Our FedEx camera has been pretty good. I mean, I've liked it all week. We're definitely fortunate, to kind of, play the strategy right there with the fuel to get us in track position, and we were able to get to the front. But overall, I mean, I like this view a lot better than sitting back and waiting. But we'll just see how the rest of the race plays out.
Well, man, it was entertaining. I was actually praising you, the fact that you knew to pull out a line. We always talk about how's Denny Hamlin get to the end of this thing. Pulled out a line, avoided that big wreck, and now you're in the lead. So keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Denny Hamlin, Daytona 500 defending champion, and now Stage 1 winner.
Oh.
Welcome back to Daytona as we try to answer the question, how was Kyle Busch in second place with a lap to go in the stage and end up out of the top 10?
Well,
here's off turn 2.
He's trying to be a good teammate and follow Denny Hamlin, but Ryan Preece had something else in mind. He gets to the outside because he had that push from Austin Dillon. So now the 18's dropping that big spoiler. It's just a parachute in the air, but look what happens here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. takes him 3 wide.
Yeah, obviously didn't have any help down there whatsoever. And the minutes the help did come, spit him 3 wide, and Ricky Stenhouse going under him.
Well, there's that moment where the 3-car Austin Dillon brushed the outside wall.
Look how hard they're pushing.
Look at the 5-car getting the push. Now,
So
you saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He goes low, and he gets on the yellow line with those left sides, but he did not go below the yellow line.
Hey, you think Kyle Busch will make radioactive this week? Larry does.
Yep.
Let's listen.
Only if we get shuffled out. Why do we suck so bad at plate races?
They used to run restrictor plates on these engines at Daytona and Talladega. Some drivers, especially when they're upset, still call these plate races.
Every now and then, just Daytona happens.
The plate is no more.
Jeff, you've been doing this a long time. I don't see anything he did wrong right there.
No, but you know,
things
just
materialized differently than when he was at.
Well, you're going to learn something while you're up here, Boyer, and that's Kyle Busch. He gets very frustrated, and that's how he blows off the steam.
Oh, I know a little something about that.
All right, we also listened in on Denny Hamlin.
Definitely feels super draggy up front. Feels slow. The air is really, really dense, bud. Really dense. So pretty rare conditions too.
So, guys, I conferred with my colleague, Dr. Pelletiti Rara, and of course, dense air is heavier air, and as it moves through the air, it slows it down because it has to push aside more molecules. Air resistance is called drag.
Larry, that sounds like a lot of hot air to me.
Well, there's that thick, heavy, dense air.
Well, I got news for the competition. If they figure out how to make that thing fast, they're in big trouble. It's already at the lead.
But definitely dense air, heavier air, will make it feel draggier. And all kidding aside, it will make it feel like it's slower.
And you know what else will? When you're out front, because you're the one pushing all that dense air.
He gets one of them cars pushing on him pretty hard. He'll feel like he's going pretty fast, especially when they get to pushing. That baby gets to doing that old hospital hop down the back straightaway, sashaying side to side. That gets your attention at a track like this.
So Denny Hamlin will be the control car on this restart. As the leader, he elects the outside lane. Hamlin's crew chief, Chris Gabehart, is 2 for 2. He's never lost a Daytona 500.
I think the odds are starting to go back in somebody's favor.
It's unreal. Why did I bet against him?
Not over yet, man. We got a long way to go. By the way, we're going to stage 2, Boyer.
All right, so which manufacturer is going to win stage 2? Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Rookie Austin Cindric in the 33 with Penske teammates behind him in the 22 and 2. A rookie trying to lead the Daytona 500 here.
And if you're going to get some lessons in drafting, it's going to come from Joey Logano. Basically a teammate.
Are they still locked up in the corner?
They are
That's
locked
something we
up.
haven't seen all week if they are. I think they finally...
Cindric leads this lap. Talk about thick air. That is trouble for the spotters as well.
Something to think about, Justin. Probably doesn't look too bad from your angle, but this fog, if it keeps moving in much more than it is right now, they're not going to be able to finish this thing.
That is Brandon Benash. He is Austin Dillon's spotter. Little difficult from the route. What? Little difficult.
Blow it out of here.
The vortex theory.
Get it going. DW. Where's DW when we need him? Get the vortex. Man, I love what I see out of Austin Cindric.
Yep.
Great job he did yesterday, being a champion of the Xfinity Series, showing up here. Huge ride for him, huge opportunity in his first Daytona 500, and I'll be darned if he isn't leading this thing.
What Clint's talking about is the theory that these cars create a rising round column of warm air that keeps rain and storms and fog away. It's been debunked by scientists, but we believe the vortex theory works when it does.
It's hot air, all right. But DW, he was a hell of a salesman, I can tell you that.
Well, there's some rising from the booth as well, I'm sure. Denny Hamlin back to the front with Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon.
Well, Austin Dillon's going to go to the outside of Christopher Bell. It's got a big push from Kyle Larson, but Kyle Busch working his way back to the front. Now we got 3 Toyotas bumper to bumper.
And then Kevin Harvick in the mix. And Ross Chastain moves up behind Harvick on the inside in the 42.
Oh, Denny could get in trouble here. Oh, he just squeezed up in front of the 3 of Austin Dillon. Right there could have been an opportunity. He was trying to work both lanes. If he had not gotten up in front of that 3 car, they may have taken him 3 wide, shuffled him back.
Jamie?
Kevin Harvick has a really good car in that 4, but he was shuffled outside the top 10 as crew chief Rodney Childers said, you need to run with the 20, the 23, and the 11. I know it's not what we want, but those are the best cars right now, and he has found himself up there running next to the 11 right now.
Time for the next Busch interview question in partnership with Netflix's The Crew. If you join Kevin Harvick's crew, what would your nickname be amongst your new teammates? Tweet your answer now using the hashtag #TheCrew and hashtag Busch Contest for your chance to win a paid spot on Harvick's racing crew.
Hey, I tried out for it.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, we saw that.
$50,000 on the line. It's an extra job.
You're
I think I could do this. Go down and help him out. I can help him out with a pit stop, couldn't I? Slow it down.
Yeah, if it's handing beverages to those guys,
Hey,
you're really good at that.
We could do that. You know, this is the point in the race, Jeff. As a race car driver, you're always trying to find where to get established. Who's going to be, who's the cars to run with? And now you're starting to see them. The front runners are established. I like what I see out of these Gibbs cars. They found one another. They're working well with one another, and they're doing that at the front of the pack.
Remember that fellow who a little while ago said, why do we suck? He has sucked his way up to second place. Kyle Busch behind Christopher Bell.
Listen, he gets frustrated, and he says a lot of things on the radio, but it never stops him from moving forward and doing his job and doing it well.
Short wick, flames up, flames out. Right back to that.
Now, here's one of the questions in Clint's Stage 2 contest on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Hope you made your pick.
I did, and I don't think I picked that side. There's no chance I'm getting my money back.
All right, Vince.
Well, you might have 3 Toyotas there at the front, but that Chevrolet of Austin Dillon is fast, and they have been happy with this. Of course, it won a duel earlier in the week, and their crew chief, Justin Alexander, told me earlier in the day, we have got a great race car. We've hardly touched it since the duel. We felt like it was good enough to race and win with then, and there was no sense changing it, and there have been nothing but good comments coming from Austin Dillon with this 3 car tonight. Keep an eye on him.
And they won their duel race here Thursday night, as did Eric Almirola, who's already been knocked out of this race. Christopher Bell in front. His new teammate Kyle Busch in second. Audio, please.
Tell him in a perfect world, my stuff likes about a half a car length gap. Yeah, something like that.
Just keep me posted. I told him if you need more. Down a half a lane to help him with the gap. Keep the air on his nose there. Just a half a lane. No more.
And speaking about air on the nose, debris on the nose for the 20 of Christopher Bell.
See that on a lot on a lead car like this. They're the first ones at it. Vacuum sweeper.
Regan?
Well, we heard that audio from Kyle Busch just now. He also said that he was way happier with that 20 car out front. Felt like they were faster, and his car was able to work just a little bit better with that 20 car than the teammate of Denny Hamlin in the 11 behind him. So keep an eye on that as this race progresses along.
Didn't the same thing happen to Christopher Bell in his duel race Thursday night?
Yeah, you're absolutely right with the debris on the nose. And right now he's got clean air to the nose. As long as he keeps an eye on the temperatures, it's fine. It actually might help reduce some of the drag, even though that debris kind of has some shape to it. But as long as the temperatures are fine, he's good. But boy, if that temperature starts to go up, he's going to have to get out of line and get behind a car and try to knock that debris off.
15 laps complete in Stage 2 of the 63rd Daytona 500. Let's go Fox side by side. 82 laps complete in the Daytona 500. The Toyotas of Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin on point. The Chevy of Austin Dillon fourth. The Ford Mustang of Austin Cindric with Joey Logano, his teammate, in fifth. Still 23 cars on the lead lap. 28 cars in the race. Clint was in this race last year, and I know you miss it. Take us for a ride here.
I don't miss this part, Jeff. It's never any fun to ride single file, but the biggest thing that you look for right here is just taking a breather, obviously, slowing this race down because you know what's coming. But the biggest thing I look over here on the left, you can see their throttle. I'm trying to save my crew chief and my team as much fuel as I can. Doing it effectively so I don't lose a gap to where they're going to stack up and try to pass me or put me, you know, in a hole and I can lose positions. But if I can save fuel, this is definitely a great opportunity to do that. That's about it, though. I'm not gonna lie. That's about all you can do right here. Log laps, and make sure you get to the end.
Our box colleague Jamie McMurray back on the lead lap now. He's in 15th position in this one-off ride in the Spire 77. We kidded him during the week, told him we were going to dial him up under green, and at first he was all for it, and then he thought about it. That wasn't
then he realized we were serious.
Yeah, right. We won't do that, folks. What's his heart rate there? 124 beats per minute.
That's pretty calm.
It was 155 earlier in the big pileup on lap 14.
Just a decent dream of sleeping, man. Come on.
Hey, if he could see the splitter in the nose of that car, his heart rate might go up a little bit. I don't think there's a whole lot of downforce coming to the front of that car.
Yeah, I was happy for him. Obviously, you know, been a while since he'd been in the car, got caught up in that wreck, and you and I both were like, dang it, and when we saw him down there in the mud, but it's really not all that damaged.
One of our favorite little Fox featurettes is Jamie on Jamie.
Yeah, it's fun to get to do that again. I miss Jamie out on the racetrack, but just before we went green again, The team was jumping on that splitter, trying to get it down. And Jamie, as you guys were just saying that, he radioed to the team and said, we need to do something. Look at how high that splitter is. He said, I can feel it. We need to work on it. And they said, as soon as we come in next time, we'll hook you up, they said.
Yeah, not only does that hurt the speed of the car, but what it's doing is packing air underneath it and creating lift. It's trying to lift the nose and not plant those front tires. So I bet he's really pushing through the corner.
Probably getting a little tight right now, huh, Jeff?
And I think that's why he's backed away from Brad Keselowski here, because he actually wants to try to get some air, and because that car's getting so tight.
Well, what I love about what he said, here's the 2010 winner of this race. He's not just here to ride in the Daytona 500. He wants that car fixed so he can get up there and try to win it.
Mike, you ever heard a race car driver use this term when they're whining, complaining about their car? It's floating the nose. Trust me, that one's floating the nose.
We can see it floating the nose.
'23 of 65 complete in stage 2. We are 13 laps from halfway, at which point this race becomes official tonight. As they come off turn number 4, we'll let you know when to turn it back down. But for right now, crank it up.
.34 is clear. One behind him for 40. Coming to pit road, the right side. Half to the L3 is dry for the next 3. Water temp, please. That's 477.2. Gap in front of the 2. He may just be laying back. You okay, or do I need to go yelling? I don't really sense anything in the back, so we're okay. How many cars are behind him? Got a couple guys, 147, just took a run to the bottom back there, way back behind you. It's still going to be at least a 5 to 8 position loss, maybe more, man. I mean, of you, nose to tail, 18. Bring it up at that run here. About 3/4 loose now.
Back down. We don't want to wake the kids. 91 laps complete here in Daytona. 9 to halfway. And let's have a look at one of Clint's Stage 2 contest questions. Which team will win Stage 2? Well, the top one on the list has led all the laps so
Man,
far.
I sure hope a lot of people didn't pick Gibbs right now.
Right now, pick Gibbs, because take Clint's money, please.
I'm going to need a little bit of money to get home. I don't live in Florida, Jack.
Oh, well, certainly those Gibbs Toyotas have done a pretty phenomenal job getting in position. But as we saw before, look who's in 4th, right? You've got Austin Dillon, who made some moves at the end of that last stage. So once we wind down, we get to the end of this stage. This might shake things up. Plus, we might have some green flag stops.
Yeah, there's the Austin and Austin show running 4th and 5th right there. Dillon and Cindric. Use whatever tools you have at hand as they do the not-so-happy dance on the splitter of Jamie Mack.
If someone says NASCAR, the one name of you three that people won't associate with NASCAR would be you.
I know.
But people don't realize you've been a big NASCAR fan for a long time.
I grew up in NASCAR. My father used to pack the whole family in. We go to Darlington, we go to Rockingham, we go to Charlotte. We came down to Daytona, Talladega, and we would just go and we spend the whole day. And from that point on, I've been hooked on NASCAR.
I remember Hoss Ellington, who owned the #1 car. Remember Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough in the '79 500, that Hawaiian Tropic car? Yeah. Hoss Ellington. He owned an insulation shop in Wilmington, North Carolina that also housed the race cars. He would tell us that Michael Jordan was one of a group of junior high school kids would ride their bikes over to the shop a couple times a week to see what was going on. And we all went, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
that's right. You heard it right there from him.
Lifelong race fan. Love it.
Well, I can tell you, yeah, he's here, buddy. And it's so cool to have him here and a part of this sport, telling that story, being a part of 2311. I mean, it's almost surreal for me. Everybody grew up idolizing this guy, and to see him being a part of our sport, it couldn't be better.
Second-year driver in his first point race in the NASCAR Cup Series with the Joe Gibbs Racing Team. Christopher Bell out in front of this race for 24 laps so far. Regan?
Well, Mike, these guys always have to be thinking ahead. Take a listen to what Christopher Bell's crew chief Adam Stevens just said to the spotter to remind his driver as we get ready for potential green flag stops.
Flag stops here. We need to be looking, Stevie and Bell, where the grip is on the entry. I'm sure the closer we get to the inside, the wetter it's going to be. So we'll be not like anything like practice.
Very good point right there. As soon as he said it, Jeff, what did you and I do? We looked exactly what he was talking about, and he's right. It's wet.
Green flag pit stops coming up. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Well, that huge collective sigh you heard as we went to break were the crossed flags, 100 laps halfway in the Daytona 500, and per the NASCAR rules, this race will be official tonight, whether or not. Of course, we hope to run the entire 200 laps. That is our goal. But we will crown a winner of the 500 this evening. Joe Gibbs Toyotas 1, 2, 3, a Richard Childress Chevy in 4th, and Penske Fords in 5th and 6th.
You know, we talk about these 3 Toyotas up front and our leader, Christopher Bell, and how the 18 car made up those spots that he had lost on pit road. He gained 5 spots on pit road. And so, you know, you got to give that team a lot of credit. Not only Kyle did a nice job getting to the front, but that pit crew helped him out, probably calmed him down a little bit too. Here comes some Fords to pit road.
Cindric, Logano, Keselowski, along with Harvick, Briscoe, and Custer. Vince.
Joey Logano in that 22 car, they've been fairly pleased with it, but you see they're going to put tape on the front and also the wrench in the rear. Fuel only for the 22 of Logano.
Everybody out but Briscoe, whose car is damaged. Michael McDowell comes in by himself, as Joey Gase did a lap ago. So the Ford contenders near the front of the field have made their green flag pit stop. There are 4 Toyotas out there, not counting Martin Truex, who is 8 laps down, and the rest are Camaros.
Mike, the Toyota group will have to come in at least within the next 3 to 4 laps, and we've been seeing even in the dual race, and the Chevrolets, I've been watching them. They've been saving a lot of fuel. They could run a little bit longer if they wanted to.
I'm a little worried about these Fords, guys, because look at the line of cars. You've got, what, 10 cars lined up right now compared to 4 or 5 Fords that just came down pit road. The longer they stay out on this track, the faster they're going to make up time and just build that gap to those Fords that just came under green.
Yeah, the only thing the Fords can do right there is get together as soon as possible. You can see they're finally found each other, get to pushing on one another and get that momentum going, because this big pack is going to run them down.
So Larry, with only 4 Toyotas, can they afford to stop by themselves, or do they need to stop with some of those Chevys?
Mike, when you're out front, you have no choice. You're the one making the call up there.
All right, we should see a group this time.
See him start moving to the bottom right here, bringing the pack down.
Hamlin had a hand out the window, and Chase Elliott feints to come with them.
They ain't coming with them, guys. No. We've been watching their throttle. They've been saving fuel. They're going to let those Toyotas come by themselves.
Now, pitting under green right here, there's strength in numbers. Certainly these guys pitting with just 3 or 4 cars, they're going to have to make sure that
I don't know about Christopher Bell. He was going pretty quick getting on pit road.
Regan?
Well, Christopher Bell was reminded to get heat in the brakes to make sure that what you saw happen there did not. A little bit free as he got onto pit road. That race car has been good. Kyle Busch on the right of your screen. That car's a little bit loose off of 4. Jamie?
3-time Daytona 500 champion Denny Hamlin, a little bit tight right sides and fuel, and that's it. A good stop as you see the reaction by the 11 team.
Yeah, when you're that leader like Christopher Bell was, you don't have your little heat coming down that back straightaway as you're getting to 3 and 4. Just get a little bit of temperature in those brakes to help those 4 tires grip under braking, come to pit road.
And doing that, you do have to put your foot on it. You drag the brakes a little bit, get that chip up.
Did Ryan Preece make a mistake by pitting without friends?
Well, it doesn't even look like they're going to put any tires on.
But when he comes out, he may have nobody to draft with.
See the Chevrolets pulling down now. Look for them to pit this lap.
Yeah, you see the hands out the window.
Cooperation right here. We saw it yesterday in the Xfinity race. Stacked them up coming on a pit road. Big, big wreck.
Now, the varying strategy, the Fords, remember, did fuel only. All the Toyota drivers and teams did right side tires. Here comes the Chevrolets.
Execution, execution.
Vince?
Well, Austin Dillon's team warning him about some wet spots on pit road. You see him pulling in along with Kyle Larson. No changes for that 3, but a little tape on the front. Larson needed a little bit of help. Still a little too tight for that 5. Jamie?
Defending series champion Chase Elliott on the right, and the 9 fuel only, a little bit different strategy than the Toyotas.
Boy, Ross Chastain coming in, stayed way out toward the grass, way late, held up the cars behind him. Then he cut sharply into his pit. Everybody got away from that okay.
Here come those Fords with all their momentum built up. Chevrolets going through turns 1 and 2, entering the back straightaway.
So everyone's. That will take us to the end of stage 2. Chevy's back to speed.
Yeah,
Ford's by on the outside.
Sorry, Mike. These Fords got a big head of steam. They also got some Toyotas in there. Those Chevys are going to try to stall them out. Oh, no, this is not going to work out for Denny Hamlin on the top.
Jamie McMurray is there and not quite to full speed.
Oh, Bubba let.
Definitely stalled out that momentum that Denny had if he was going to overtake those Fords.
I think this is going to work out for Larson and Elliott. Those guys are coming, but they've been broken up.
They're also breaking up that Ford bunch. If you can see him side drafting that 2, slowing him down, pulling him off of the rest of those Fords right there.
And now it's mostly all one pack again. After 3 groups of pit stops along party lines. 90 laps to go in the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Here is the lead change just prior to the caution coming out for the 5th time tonight. Denny Hamlin up the middle, Kevin Harvick to the inside. That's Kyle Larson on the outside.
So hard when you're up front there and you got that many cars coming with that much more speed.
Big wiggle out of Bubba Wallace right there.
And Christopher Bell in the 20 has a left rear tire going down.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on the 20 as he goes into turns 1 and 2. You can see, boy, Bubba and Kyle get together a little bit. Stay out of trouble. Look at the left rear tire. You can already see right there. It's starting to get a little soft. Slow leak in that left rear, and now you can really see it get on the sidewall and get flat, and it just comes around.
Incidental contact with Stenhouse and then him into Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and I think Stenhouse may have had a little bit of contact with the 5 of Kyle Larson. Yeah, right there, he's doing everything he can.
Long for the ride.
There goes Chase Elliott. Let's ride with him through this.
Just staying inside. It's a freeze in your mirror. The 5 top gonna hit it. Mid, down, good down.
Boy, great job by Chase Elliott, as well as his spotter, Eddie DeHunt, helping him get through it. Now remember, the 20 machine of Christopher Bell, that car only changed right side tires on that last pit stop.
And Jamie McMurray's involved.
Well, there's nothing worse here than that screeching tire coming to a halt.
Christopher Bell had only led 18 laps in NASCAR Cup racing. Entering today, he led 32 in this Daytona 500 thus far.
There's the damage to the left rear of Kyle Larson.
You saw Ricky shoot up when he got collected by the 20, got into his left rear a little bit. I think Kyle may have got into the outside wall as well with the right rear.
You know, Clint, when you do green flag stops like that and the fields get split up, man, it is just hairy when, you know, you're going through all these cars flying through different.
A lot of momentum changes. Everybody's catching one another, and it all seems to come to a head.
Quite a number of takers on pit road, even though they've just been in about 7 laps ago.
Yeah, but not many of them changed tires while they were in. There's that damage to the right side of the 5 car.
Chase Elliott will get 4.
You see that damage we were talking about on the 5 right there. Very, very important to utilize this opportunity to make darn sure you get those fenders pulled out. No harm, no foul right now, but if you go out and cut a tire down, you could into your 500.
Christopher Bell cuts down a left rear tire and goes around.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Kaz Grala could use something ice cold because that's a flaming rotor. And then some as he makes his way into his pit.
I'd say that's a wheel bearing or something, huh, Larry?
It's still, I mean, when that wheel bearing, that grease gets hot like that, man, it just melts and turns a molten steel. Hard to put that fire out.
Yeah, teams tend to get aggressive with wheel bearings and stuff here, trying to reduce the drag. And, you know, I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but that's quite the fire. You know, all those teams that just pitted for 4 tires, I like that move because we're going to go back racing with just over 10 laps to go to the end of this stage. I think that will allow them to do fuel only at this stage end.
Shows you how hot a wheel bearing can get. They've put that fire out 3 or 4 times. An example of that you'll see, and we've covered it in this sport, some haulers been burnt down over time on the road. It's usually a wheel bearing.
That Colleague Racing team, a mainstay of the Xfinity Series, and making the move up to Cup here for the 500 with Kaz Grala, and it looks like their day is done. The AMR safety team quickly over the wall and getting that fire extinguished.
More.
All you got. That's what it's going to
bring another bottle.
Jamie?
These guys are racers. They are not done yet, Mike. They just said, hey, well, if you have enough brake, you know, we could pull a tear off, get you cleaned up, and get you back out. Meanwhile, it's still on fire.
Larry, you tell me that, I'm out. I don't trust you anymore, Larry.
I told my drivers to do a lot of dumb things, but that might not be one of them.
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna come back, by the way. That thing's not going away. You didn't fix the problem.
Next Sunday on Fox, we are right back here at Daytona, but not on the 2.5-mile oval. We'll be on the 14-turn Daytona road course. Coverage begins with race day, 11 a.m. Eastern on FS1. Then switch over to Fox at 2:30 Eastern for pre-race coverage and the green flag. Or you can catch it all on the Fox Sports app. Chase Elliott, the winner here last summer, on the road course.
Looking forward to being back down here for that. Had a lot of fun with the Busch Clash. It was a heck of a race. Hey,
boys,
we'll be
I think you need to bring
Larry, I don't know, bud.
Kaz, the torch
I just don't have a good feeling about this.
This is not the underglow lights from the All-Star race, folks.
He's going to be lucky if that thing can even get back. Oh, yeah, something major just broke.
Well, the radio works. We listened in.
Brake pedal went to the floor. Fire. The fire. The big fire.
And now he's got no brakes.
That was spotter Brett Griffin. Jamie?
Yeah, Mike, he just said, I don't have any brakes. And Kaz Grala, he's a rookie, second ever Cup start, and he's calm as can be. They're telling him to bring it in, still on fire as we go back to green.
And they're going to restart without him. 83 to go. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick out front. All these veterans up front with Cindric, Wallace, and Preece in the top 8 with them. We'll be back with our Fox News fire coverage after this.
Got some big pushes right here in both lanes.
Well, Kyle Busch wasn't kidding when he said his Toyota could get up there with the Fords. He was right on the back bumper of Joey Logano going into the corner.
Well, and he knows Joey's a veteran. Joey likes it when you're aggressively pushing him. So watch for Kyle Busch. Oh, well, we're going to go 3 wide, though. Kevin Harvick has other ideas. He's trying to shuffle Denny Hamlin out. He knows Denny's one of his biggest threats to win this Daytona 500. But going back to Kyle Busch, when you are racing with a guy like Joey Logano and you've seen some of the moves he's made, you know that you can get away with things and be a little more aggressive because Joey likes that. That's the way Joey likes to race.
And you can see just how fast things materialize. Austin Cindric was pushing Kevin Harvick, doing everything right. When they got 3 wide, he's the one. Kevin went down to block. He got stuck out there 3 wide and went straight to the back in a hurry.
Also, Clint, veteran move right there by Kevin Harvick. He knew that the 11 of Denny Hamlin was coming with a big run. Moved up to block it. I don't know if he's going to be able to block this run, though. And there they go. Denny Hamlin backed up and got a big push from the 23rd, Bubba Wallace Jr. drove right by Kevin Harvick.
I've been watching Bubba Wallace. That car is, it's pretty uneasy, pretty light on its feet, it looks like. You know, you've got fast cars, and then you got cars that handle. And that one's a fast car, and she is a handful. That's what it is.
So one caution already in stage 2, plus there will be a caution at the end of the stage.
And what I'm seeing here, Mike, there might be another one.
Might be.
More money.
How many did you guess? How many cautions in stage 2, counting the stage ending caution at lap 130?
That's going to be so much fun to do each and every week. Follow along with our fans, interact with them.
Take your money.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
That's the best part.
It'll only get better.
All right, Jamie has caught up with Kaz Gralla and the local fire department.
Well, Kaz Gralla gets an A for effort. You just kept on trucking even though you were still on fire. What led to that in your mind?
You know, honestly, I'm not sure what the issue is. We made some contact there in that last crash. We blended up out of pit lane and just had to stay with the draft to hold on to the lucky dog position, which we did, and we were in the lucky dog position. So we were in good shape for the rest of the race, just taking it easy, and they wrecked ahead. We scuffed the wall so I'm not sure what that broke, but whatever it was, just really unfortunate end to our day. Our Hyper-Ice Chevy was really fast. Colleague Racing did a great job. We were calling a good conservative race. We were in position there probably to just ride it out and put ourselves in a spot to get a top 10 at the end. And I absolutely think we would have. So really disappointing end. I'm not really sure why, but we'll get to the bottom of it here.
Thanks, Kaz. Mike?
Well, wait till he sees the video. Kaz Gralla will wind up 28th in this year's Daytona 500, his first. Watch Kyle Busch in the 18.
I mean, there's barely enough room for a car length there. I don't know if Kyle Larson checked up to allow Kyle Busch in.
I'd say he did a little bit. That was really tight.
Eight laps to go in stage 2. We'll take you Fox side by side. 75 laps to go in the 63rd Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin trying to do what no driver has ever done and win his third Daytona 500 in a row. He is your Toyota top performer with 75 to go. Bubba Wallace in second, Kyle Busch in 10th, Christopher Bell just off the lead draft in 19th, and Martin Truex 8 laps back in 25th.
In stage one, we heard Ryan Preece say he didn't want to make that move from that third place position until the last lap. It'd be interesting to see with the experience in Kevin Harvick if he'll back these guys up and try to make a move a little bit sooner and when that move will come, or if that's where it will come from.
100%.
Oh.
How about
Kevin
Brad
Harvick.
Keselowski there right behind Ryan Preece?
Tell Joey I want to back up off of 2, get him to my rear bumper, tell him to hang on my rear bumper, we'll make the move in the 3, but I need him up. I can't have him 4 cars back.
Well, and in that move, it's nice to have your teammate back there and have that communication, but then you've got to rely on the guy behind him, Kyle Busch, to come along for the ride. And I don't know if Kyle Busch is going to do that. So it's going to be fun to watch these two guys try to orchestrate this. But I think there's several drivers in this line that are thinking about doing the same thing as you mentioned, Kevin Harvick.
He led me into it. Situational awareness. That's Brad Keselowski, knowing who he's got behind him and knowing more than likely if he can create momentum and a run, a guy like Kyle Busch has no choice but to go with him, and Kyle Larson right behind him.
When they come to the line, it'll be 2 laps to go in stage 2, and pit road will be closed.
And now you got Bubba Wallace in a similar position that Kyle Busch was in at the end of that last stage. Remember, he worked with his teammate. Well, I think Bubba Wallace is going to stay on the rear bumper of the 11 of Denny Hamlin. That's going to open up the door for Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon.
Remember what happened to the fellow who was second at the end of stage 1? He ended up 13th in the stage.
Watch for somebody to be dragging back, whether it's Brad Keselowski. I can see him pulling back a little bit, slowing that group down, getting a run, see if he can make his move getting into 3.
Oh, there goes the 2 right there.
Michael McDowell came down and Keselowski went with him.
That was much earlier than I thought they were going to do it. I thought they're going to wait to the lap.
What do you mean?
No, I thought they're going to wait one more lap. Bubba Wallace going down to block that move. He's going to get to the inside of Denny Hamlin.
I thought too. Thought it would be the next lap. 1 to go in stage 2.
Big push right here. Going to stack them up.
Well, that was a great move by Bubba Wallace. I didn't think he would do it. I really thought he would stick with Denny Hamlin.
That outside line's not done. Kevin Harvick, this line group of cars, they're going to get a run right here. Big push is coming on that outside.
Yeah, but look how organized. Oh, Bubba Wallace gets sideways.
That was close.
Going to stack that bottom line.
That's going to get the top lane going.
But not enough. It actually put him 3 wide. You're going to see some momentum now.
Kyle Busch right behind Logano as the middle moves forward, and Hamlin comes down to cover.
Gosh, these guys are driving like it's the last lap of the 500, not the stage.
Wallace on the bottom, Hamlin on the top. Here they come for the green and white checkers to end stage 2. 3 wide behind them. Hamlin again.
That's good
Harvick
racing right
second.
there. Good racing.
Man, if Harvick could have maybe gotten to the quarter panel a little bit sooner off of turn 4, I think he would have had it.
You can really see when they get 3 wide what that did. Those cars sitting out there all by themselves. They were too far out, but there was just 2 cars. Those guys got 3 wide, stalled everything out.
Denny Hamlin has now passed Bobby Allison on the all-time list of Daytona 500 lap leaders for 5th. Stage 2 complete. Denny Hamlin, the Stage 2 winner, leads them on to pit road. Vince.
Chase Elliott heading to pit road, a little disappointed. He was hoping to team up with Austin Dillon and have a little better run to the end of that stage. Dillon said it was more his fault. Just right side tires for the 3, Regan.
Bubba Wallace very calm and collected in that race car and very happy with how it was handled at the end of that stage, even with all the battling that he was doing. Jamie.
11 on the bottom left. They put a little tape on the nose. Tires and fuel for Denny Hamlin on the bottom right. The 4 of Kevin Harvick. 4 tires, fuel. They wiped the grills clean.
Austin Dillon leads them off pit road. Hamlin, McDowell picks up 4 spots, as did Dillon, with 2 tire change. How close was it at the end of stage 2? Let's have a look here.
Let's dial up that number 4 car, Kevin Harvick. Hey, Kevin, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us? Well, man, I thought that was the end of the Daytona 500, not the end of stage 2, the way you guys are racing. Pretty wild. Walk us through that move and then maybe set that up for the end of the race. How do you time that maybe a little bit sooner to be able to win the Daytona 500?
I think the pushes will be a little bit harder, a little bit sooner. Chase was, giving a good push, but really attached me as I went through the second half of that corner to really gain some momentum. So, I think we just trying to keep ourselves up front. This is a lot different than we've raced in the past. Trying to grab some stage points, with the wreck early and less cars, it seems like it gets pretty tame, pretty quick with the high line. So, just trying to take care of our bush light board, but also keep ourselves positioned towards the front.
Well, man, I tell you what, it's been pretty exciting. It looks like as we wind this thing down to the finish, you're starting to show what you've got to win another Daytona 500. Go have a great night. Looking forward to this final stage here.
10-4, man. Thank you.
He won the 500 in 2007 for car owner Richard Childress. Lap down cars making pit stops at the end of stage 2. Denny Hamlin over Kevin Harvick. 66 laps to go. Joey Gase 1 lap down, top 20 right now.
Sure like his quarter panel.
Yeah. Christopher Bell got the free pass on that caution, so he'll be back on the lead lap. Denny Hamlin has now won 4 straight stages in the Daytona 500, mid-race stages.
And you were betting against him.
Hey, we might see history tonight, guys. Just might happen.
Among the memorable three-peats, this would certainly rank right up there should it happen for Denny Hamlin. Now, in partnership with Netflix's new show, The Crew, Busch is interviewing for a paid spot on Kevin Harvick's racing crew. Tweet your answer to each question during the race for your chance to win. So with the next question, here's the Busch guy.
Here's a fun one. How much Busch could you pour inside of a standard NASCAR gas tank?
Man,
you're not eligible.
What do you mean? I signed up. I went through it.
We're still not eligible. Now, Kyle Larson had a penalty, a safety violation. They had a torch on the hot side of the pit box. Larry, why would that be?
Yeah, we're looking at it right now, Mike, and at first I thought it might have been to try to put some like an adhesive or bare bond trying to heat the surface, but they were doing something up inside the right rear wheel well. They took the right rear tire off, had a torch doing something. Again, the penalties, the tail in the longest line, that's about where they were going to be anyhow.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, Larry, is, you know, it's all about the details, right? And the best you can get the shape of that fender back to what it was before that accident, the better that car is going to handle and the better speed it's going to have. So I don't know if they're just trying to get it as close to that as possible.
Move back in position the way you want and then cooled off. I agree. Definitely a penalty you don't hear every day. I can tell you that.
So among the stage 2 questions to win Clint's money, there were 2 cautions in stage number 2. And at the end of stage 2, there were 13 cars out of the race.
I don't think I picked either one of those either.
Well, I hope a lot of people did at home.
Appreciate that.
So we're going to find out because just like Powerball, we can tell you
how much
damage there is. We're going to work on that.
Man, it looks.
Jamie McMurray is still on the lead lap, 16th. There are 18 lead lap cars as we go set to go back to green and work to lap 200 and the conclusion of this Daytona 500. Whoa, 249 winners split the pot.
$10,000
Boy, you had me really nervous for a minute.
Pending verification of eligibility, split $10,000, 249 winners. What's that? Is that $40 or $400? Can't do the math that
You're
quick.
the mathematician
$40
up
apiece.
here, Mike.
All right, ready for the restart. Stage 3, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin. Here we go.
Big jump for the 3.
Now top. Now top, 1 back. No run yet. Bottom's the best form. 11's coming outside. Clear back to 11, quick hold by half, outside. Lined up. Still out there, lined up.
So impressive how he can just pull out at will and go on right to the front every time.
Boy, Bubba Wallace was giving a shove to Michael McDowell, who was giving a shove to Austin Dillon, trying to keep that bottom lane formed up.
There's a reason why he's going for 3 in a row, Clint. I'm telling you, I mean, that car is fast, but some of the moves that he makes, we've seen other guys run up to the rear bumper of the car in front of them, but rarely do they just step out as soon as they get there and stall that car out and make the pass. Let's see if Austin Dillon repays that favor.
He's making great decisions. His spotter's working well. You can see when he moved up and slowed that run down of Kevin Harvick.
Wow, Kevin Harvick aggressively pushing
That's
rear
because that
bumper.
22 is aggressively pushing him.
And the 18's aggressively pushing him. But man, that was almost disaster for Denny Hamlin.
Yes.
I thought he was going to actually make contact with the outside wall.
Watch this and see where push very nearly comes to shove.
And, I mean, Kevin Harvick's doing everything right. You want to push on the right side of that rear bumper, but oof, right
Maybe not
there.
that hard.
Maybe not that hard, though.
And it's such a handful when they do that. You're just along for the ride. You can't lift. You got to hold it wide open and steer for the best.
So, Clint, you see that unfold? How's the view from up here?
Oh, man, I wish I felt that. There ain't no feeling like that leading at a track like Daytona. Somebody like Kevin Harvick pushing on you hard. I'd sign up for that.
Well, up front are the two winningest drivers from last season, or two that won. Boy, they won a bunch. Kevin Harvick, 9 victories. Denny Hamlin, 7 wins in 2020. Let's go back and take another look at that.
Watch his hands as he has to keep a hold of this thing.
Whoa. He even checked up a little bit.
His hand out the window.
Waving to somebody.
And that all
Not
happened
wrecking me.
at 198 miles an hour. Wow.
You could just barely see Denny's eyes there in that clear visor, but you could see he was watching his mirror the whole time down the back straightaway.
They got a little wider when his hands got busy, too.
Jamie?
People always ask why Denny Hamlin is so good year after year at the Daytona 500, and Denny said it this week. He said, when we get here and we unload this car, my focus is on Sunday. I don't think about the raw speed and trying to qualify. They've never had a pole here. He gets honed in on that feel that they need, and Chris Gabehart knows exactly what he wants. He said they have the same setup from a year ago, Mike, and the car has just been solid again, and here he is leading once again.
Well, why go away from something that's working?
Chris Gabehart, as we said, as Hamlin's crew chief, he's never lost a 500.
You talk about feel, Jeff. What are you looking for there? I mean, obviously you're looking for something. You want a car that pulls up good. But talk about the handling, the wandering that we have. You know, when you come here, the car has a tendency to wander at times.
I mean, I'm a big believer. If that car is stable and you can make those moves and do the things that you see Denny do, you know, that's going to make the car go faster, because you're going to be able to use the draft. You're going to be able to side draft. You're going to be able to take that big push from behind and make something out of it. I don't know that Denny's car is the fastest one in the field, but it definitely is a car that he has a lot of confidence
When that
in.
car's stable, it instantly puts you into offense. No defense, doesn't even cross your mind. It's all offense all the time.
27 of 40 starters still running. 18 of them are on the lead lap, trying to win the Daytona 500 with 58 laps to go. 55 laps to go in the Daytona 500. 18 drivers on the lead lap trying to win it. Let's take a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch. Jeff.
Well, I've got my eye on the 2007 Daytona 500 winner. He's in second right now. Kevin Harvick, he's studying, he's analyzing, trying to find any weakness that Denny Hamlin might have. Haven't seen it yet, but if anybody can beat Denny, I believe it's Kevin Harvick.
Jeff, I've got my eye on a young man making his first career Cup Series start. Austin Cindric came here, had to qualify his way in, started on the rear row of the field. He won the Xfinity Series race yesterday. You know, 10 years ago, a guy by the name of Trevor Bayne won in his second career start here at Daytona.
All right, boys, none other than Kyle Busch. He's the one I'm looking at right now, and this is why. You got 4 Fords running up there and 2 Toyotas. If Kyle Busch doesn't find the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, they don't take Coach Gibbs to victory lane. They're going to have to figure out how to do that.
Well, Clint, I'm liking that guy just ahead of Kyle Busch, and that's Joey Logano. Logano's done it before. Remember, he won the Daytona 500 in 2015. All 4 super speedway races last year they were in position to win. Didn't win any of them. He's in position again tonight. I think he's going to get it done.
There have been a lot of fast Chevrolets in Daytona this week. Chevrolet swept the front row, but the winningest one of those bow ties is the 2018 Daytona 500 winner. That's Austin Dillon. Keep an eye on number 3. And that's your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Guys.
What's that?
Is it just me, or did nobody pick Denny Hamlin to win this race?
I kind of did. I told you if Kyle Busch doesn't find Denny Hamlin, neither one of those guys win this race.
It's not necessarily to pick to win, but we kind of lean towards that. It's ones to watch, but come on.
So you leave the blind objects on the table. We don't call it Credit One Bank ones to win.
True, but I'm usually searching for a winner, just so you know.
We like winners.
We've said it all week long. The deck is stacked against you if you're Denny Hamlin, and that deck is those 4 Fords right behind him. I'm telling you, those two have to find one another. Kyle Busch has got to get with his teammate. They're going to make a run at him and pounce on these guys.
Since stage 3 started, and the biggest mover since the restart is our Fox colleague Jamie McMurray. He's our USAA biggest mover from 15th to 10th since the restart. Kyle Larson had a start in the back because of that penalty. He's gained 4 spots. So have Cole Custer and Austin Cindric. And Ross Chastain has picked up 3 positions.
You know, Jamie's doing a heck of a job. The nose is messed up on the front of that thing. You know that's hurting the speed on that car. He's in the top 10, Jeff.
Man, you know, you got to grind it out, and he's a veteran driver, and he's doing a great job doing exactly that. He's pretty tough, too, you know. You look at his fitness level, the things he goes through, a lot tougher than you might think old Jamie Mack is, and that's probably why he's won some of the biggest races in this series.
His Chevrolet has the 2nd fastest lap of this race of anybody, next to Chase Elliott, 199.2 miles per hour. And he's a former Daytona 500 winner. There's nobody you can count out that's still on the lead lap right now. $50 laps to go. And Denny Hamlin has led half of this race, 74 of 150.
Now, we saw this happen. We've seen this happen all night long, right? These guys are in line. They're not in line because they can't pass. They are in line to get ready for the end of this race. How do I position myself? What do I have to do to find a way to be at the front when this thing is over? And by the way, we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen in the stages. We've seen it happen past Daytona 500s. That could possibly happen. We know it's going to probably materialize on the last lap, but it might happen off of turn 4 coming to take the checkered flag. Of course, we've got a green flag stop that could potentially be coming up here also.
And last time we had green flag stops, each manufacturer stopped on a different lap, and they all ended up in the same scrum together.
Yeah, one of the most intense moments in a race like this is when you have a green flag stop and you have all these different strategies or times when they come to pit road, and then that all converges on the racetrack at these different speeds. And Clint, I mean, you and I talked about this, and you saw what happened the last time they had that green flag stop, how wild and crazy it got.
Oh, and as that all came together, boom, you got the 20 car with a left rear flat, and it wrecked a lot of cars. That's what happens. It can happen just a blink of an eye.
So, Larry, if we have green flag pit stops, when might we expect them?
Yeah, Mike, it's almost like splitting this final stage in half. They'll probably go a little further than that. It's going to probably come somewhere around 28 to 30 laps to go, 170 to lap 172. But here's what's interesting out there right now. We've been talking about handling. Denny Hamlin in 11 car, Chris Gabehart went with left side tires only. Austin Dillon in the 3, Justin Alexander went with right sides only. Everybody else did 4 tires. I like setting that final trip to pit road up knowing I have 4 fresh tires from the previous stop.
Oh, good point. Cole Custer up in the top half dozen, last year's Rookie of the Year. Stuart Haas 41. Denny Hamlin continues to lead, and a little bit of hood flutter there for Bubba Wallace. .44 laps to go in Daytona. Here's an update on the Coca-Cola Racing family. Denny Hamlin, your leader. Joey Logano, 3rd. Austin Dillon, 7th, all in the lead draft, while Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman were taken out in the 16-car incident at lap number 14.
I can't help but keep thinking about that incident, lap 14 you just talked about, and the difference it's made in this race.
There's a lot of cars taken out, a lot of big heavy hitters.
5th place Austin Cindric is trying to do something that has not happened in since 1980. Finish his very first NASCAR Cup race in the top 5. The driver who did it in 1980 also drove for Roger Penske, Rusty Wallace at Atlanta. Remember that big old Impala that they built for him?
Yeah.
Top 5. Right.
Pretty good company in that conversation, I'd say. I think winning that championship for him last year just helped him confidence-wise. You know, he came down here was awesome in that Xfinity race yesterday, and he's running with the big boys today. Awesome performance.
You know, if he stays in this position, Clint, and it comes down to the end, I'm going to be very curious to see how he handles it, because the intensity is going to ramp up times 10 in those final laps.
Here's your Progressive race summary with 43 laps to go. Denny Hamlin's led 82 laps, the most among 12 leaders. There have been 20 lead changes. 18 of 40 cars still on the lead lap. 6 caution flags so far, and a 5-hour and 40-minute red flag. Denny Hamlin, our race leader, won both of the stages. Jamie?
And Denny Hamlin about 10 laps ago said he felt like it was a little bit slower, but right now saying that the car is actually handling a little bit better than it was earlier. And he asked his team recently a question I've never heard a driver ask in the middle of a race. He said, how many laps have I led? The answer right now is 83.
A bunch. They need to tell him that he's just working his way up the record book in laps led at the Daytona 500.
Hamlin, Harvick, Logano, Kyle Busch, all veterans. Then Cindric in his first Cup start. And the Rookie of the Year from 2020, Cole Custer. Vince in 6th place.
Well, and he's done a fine job tonight. And, you know, they were talking to me, Mike Shiplett, the crew chief, about how that team last year in their rookie season together really spent the year accumulating data and building their notebook, a notebook that should begin to pay dividends this season. And I think we're starting to see that tonight in the season opener. They began the night patient, wanting to just learn and be there at the end and have an opportunity to make something happen, and they're in position to do just that.
The lap past Cody Ware, who's gone 3 laps down. And yes, let's have a look at the Xfinity fastest laps tonight. Chase Elliott, quickest. Jamie Mack. Corey LaJoie, the 3rd fastest lap of the night. Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell, the top 5. Nice mix of Chevys, Toyota, and Ford there.
199.4.
Getting it.
There is Corey LaJoie, has a new ride for 2021 for the season.
Yeah, nice opportunity for Corey LaJoie moving over to Spire Motorsports.
He and his crew chief Ryan Sparks moving over, and they asked Tommy Baldwin for permission to run that number 7. Got it, and evoked the memory of Alan Kowicki, Jeff Bodine, and others that have had success with that number. Ross Chastain, another face in a new place, in the Chip Ganassi, number 42.
Going to be fun to watch this young man this year. I like his style, I like his attitude, I like his work ethic. And I think you're going to see him have some great moments this season.
Tell you which one I got circled. Homestead.
Yeah.
When I think about somebody that can run the wall, you don't have to look any further than Kyle Larson.
The front 5 are a mix of Toyotas and Fords, but 7th through 13th are all Chevy Camaros all in a row. "37 laps to go in the Daytona 500 on Fox." Let's go side by side. .34 laps to go in Daytona. Denny Hamlin trying to three-peat. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, and others trying to deny him. 34 to go. Time for the final Busch interview question in partnership with Netflix's The Crew. Tell Busch, what would you write on a bumper sticker on Harvick's car? Tweet your answer now using hashtag The Crew and hashtag Busch Contest for your last chance to win a paid spot on Kevin's Racing Crew.
I would love to see what some people sent in for that.
Yeah. Mine wouldn't be acceptable. I can promise you that.
Hey, Mike, I got a Larry McNugget for you on that 33 car, Austin Cindric. You talked about the last time a driver in his first career start got a top 5 driving for Roger Penske. How about the last time a driver won a race, a cup race in his first career start? Johnny Rutherford in 1963, a dual race at Daytona. Remember, dual races were points races, and no, I was not working on his car.
63, was it a convertible for crying out loud?
Austin's grandfather, maternal grandfather, Jim Truman, who won the 1986 Indy 500 as car owner for Bobby Rahal. I was at the Little Charlotte quarter mile with the Bandolero cars the night Austin won his very first race, a rookie race. His mom never missed one of his races. His dad was there when he could, when he wasn't on the road with Team Penske. And the night that Roger Penske and Walt Zarnicki showed up to watch this kid run, boy, everybody was talking about that.
That would be cool.
He's a smart race car driver too. You know, one of the things I've been most impressed with Austin Cindric is his evolution, his knowledge, and how he's. You know, we saw him early on in his career in Xfinity. You know, really hang that car out there, maybe make a few little mistakes, but man, he just buttoned them right up, and never saw him make the same mistake again. Oh, look at this! Is this them making a move, or is this them coming to pit road?
Well, let's start with the move.
I think it's time to come to pit road.
Now, under green, you can enter pit road more than single file. And with Logano's pit the first box, that's what he does. Vince.
Well, it's just going to be a 2-tire change. Losing a little grip, said Logano, but otherwise the car is fine. 2 tires, right sides, and fuel. Jamie.
Austin Cindric, you were just talking about him. First cup start in the 33 car. They're going to take right sides and put some fuel on it. He just told his team this is the best the car has been all night. So that's good news for young Austin Cindric. The 4 of Kevin Harvick, all good with the car so far.
I'm impressed with that 34 of Michael McDowell. Not one of the powerhouse teams, but he is right there with them.
Mike, one of the things I saw when they left, Austin Cindric was a little slow off of pit road. That is going to affect them in their performance. He's going to lose that draft.
Here come the Chevrolets to pit road.
Coming in hot too, Vince.
Austin Dillon has been so pleased with his car all night long. It's going to be just fuel only, giving him a tear off and putting a little tape on it. We'll see if he can finish the job. Jamie?
Chase Elliott in the 9. It was fuel only last time. It'll be rights and fuel. You'll watch the fueler nod his head when they're good. He's nodding. Go. Good stop for Chase Elliott.
I'm good when they do.
When you start looking and everybody pitting on these green flag stops like this, it's almost like a drag race, like a relay race. And these Fords that pitted early, they got to find each other pretty quick to take advantage of pitting early.
Got 3 of them lined up.
You look at these Toyotas and their performance on pit road. They came off. Everybody's together right here. It is so important to make sure you're established. Leave pit road good. Get up through the gears and push as hard as you possibly can in that straight line.
Larry, do the Toyotas come this time?
I think they may run another few laps, Mike. See what their lap times do lined up like that versus all these others that's trying to get back organized. I think that's going to be a key. Are they running faster?
And there, they picked up one of their teammates there in Mark Truex Jr., even though he's got damage. Here come these Fords.
Around
just
the Chevrolet.
Like we saw the last time. Going to get to Chase Elliott. A little further up there is Austin Dillon. Here come the Toyotas.
Regan.
Well, we see the Toyotas fitting together here. The 23 car of Bubba Wallace. That race car, it's been good all night till he got shuffled back right there. All of a sudden, a little bit free as he was further back in the pack. And the 18 of Kyle Busch, that race car is really good right now. He's very happy with it. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin has a new fuel man this year. Justin White, it was right side tires and just enough fuel.
Now that was orchestrated in that all of the Toyotas that stopped together took 2 tires. So they should all come out together.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, you got this line of cars that are established with a lot of momentum, using the draft of multiple cars. So those Toyotas have to do everything perfectly, and you can already see some separation between all 3 of them. They're going to lose a lot right here.
This is going to be big.
This is going to be a big moment, I believe, for Denny Hamlin. Can Denny Hamlin put a block on Joey Logano when he gets to him? That would potentially still give Denny the lead. It's going to be risky, but it's going to be in.
He better not. I'm calling he better not. This is going to be a huge run coming. Those guys are going to have to follow in, get caught back up, reestablish themselves in the group, and then try to figure out how to get back up through them.
And Hamlin's alone. He has no friends. So he can't block more than 1 lane at a time. Kyle Busch not close enough to help. Here come the Fords led by Logano.
Yeah, I thought maybe Kyle Busch might slow him down a little bit, but not at all. They just, I mean, they got to be carrying 3, 4, 5 more miles per hour than these other guys.
He's going to move up right here. Force him to go to the bottom.
And now all you can do if you're Denny Hamlin, just try to stall them out, not get too far, shuffle back. Might be able to get in front of Austin Dillon here.
Actually, the 2 of them, that was a good move by Denny Hamlin. When he moved up right there, that was a heads-up move. It'd be interesting if he made that call after his spotter did in roof, because him separating with Kyle Busch on the bottom separated that pack away and really stalled him out.
And Hamlin stopped the march of all the Chevrolets except Ross Chastain, who's 42, is up there with that group of Fords.
This is going to be trouble for Denny Hamlin. He got a big run. He tried to pull out, but he's all by himself.
Austin Cindric, 3rd car in this line behind Christopher Bell and Corey LaJoie. That pit stop has now put him 6 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, I mentioned that when they took out of the pit road, he was just behind, and the difference that makes when you can't take off with your group, you're left behind.
It looked like maybe they didn't get the fuel can or the second fuel can in there, you know, in a good enough way, because they were a little bit long on that fuel.
And you have to have it. You got to make sure you get that in there, because you're going to need it at the end. You can't be light.
"13 cars in the lead draft, 17 cars on the lead lap, 24 laps to go. We'll go side by side. 8 former champions of the Daytona 500 started this race. 20% of the 40-car field. And here's where they're running. Joey Logano, your race leader. Kevin Harvick in second. Austin Dillon 7th. Denny Hamlin and Jamie McMurray in the lead draft. Kurt Busch is 4 laps back. Ryan Newman and Derek Cope out of the race. Now, you saw Bubba Wallace come in for an unscheduled pit stop. Regan?
Well, Bubba Mike, and he said, I've got a vibration. Instantly said, I got to come this time. It got bad quick. Looks like possibly a loose wheel down here.
Well, I mean, this is when the green flag stops start to separate some of the experienced teams, and we saw it happen with Austin Cindric, a little miscommunication on the fueling. Now the 23 car with their pit crew, loose wheel.
And the 20 of Christopher Bell, one of the Joe Gibbs Toyotas, has a fuel problem. He's on pit road.
He had that problem earlier in the race, too. They were working underneath the deck lid on that earlier, so I'd say that's a reoccurring issue.
Yep.
I take this back to strategy, strength, and numbers. The Fords had a better strategy. They were early on the pit road, got out there, got themselves established in a line quickly, and was able to be at the front of this pack when the time's right. Now you go back to the flip side of that, the Toyotas. There was only 3 of them. They weren't established when they left. The pit stops were off. Obviously had a loose wheel in the 23. The difference, look at the difference it makes in this race. Denny Hamlin leading going in, Denny Hamlin at the end of that line coming out.
And to that point, Clint, I'm a little surprised that they didn't look at the numbers and say, hey, which one of these groups? Should we try to pit with the Fords or pit with the Chevrolets to try not to lose that momentum or lose that numbers game?
So here's Hamlin behind Bubba Wallace, who's now a lap down, has little to lose. Can Bubba drop down and help his co-owner of his team, Denny Hamlin, get back to the front, or is there any way just 2 cars can do that?
Oh, you can help them, but I don't know that the time to do that is quite right yet. I mean, I think there was a race a year ago where Denny Hamlin was in it. He was in the running for the race so much. I remember, I think, Jeff, it even confused you, and I was on my couch in the motorhome.
Exactly.
I'm not poking fun. It's just he was in the running for it, and we all thought, hey, man, he's going to win the race, and he was a lap down the whole time. So to your point, Mike, that can be a factor and probably will.
Yeah, I mean, right now, honestly, Denny Hamlin's going to need a caution. We've already seen when they're lined up single file like this, and we're seeing Denny make all kinds of aggressive moves. He'll make one spot up every once in a while, and then he loses and goes back to the back. He's trying really hard, but he's not going to be able to do it by himself. So, yes, Bubba can help him. His other teammate, Kyle Busch, is up there that can help him, but it's not going to be enough to get up to the front of this pack without a caution.
Because up front, there are 5 Fords in a row. Logano, Harvick, Custer, Keselowski, McDowell, then 3 Chevrolets. Chastain, Dillon, and Elliott. Kyle Busch's Toyota, 2 more Chevys, then Hamlin. And then a sprinkling of makes throughout the rest of the lead lap. Back to Cindric in 15th. He's the last car on the lead lap with 17 to go.
Well, and I say this all the time, especially when it comes to green flag stops, the end of a big race in the 500, execution, execution. And you said it, Clint, the Fords executed that better than anybody else.
Well, not only the drivers and the spotters obviously getting in, on and off pit road, but the strategy. I'm going to say props to them guys. Both stages they did that, by the way.
Happy Monday on the East Coast, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. We're just about 15 minutes away from crowning a champion of the Daytona 500.
Mike, Jeff, and Clint, the Toyotas could have pitted with those Fords the last time. I went back and looked. The Fords committed to the bottom late over in turn 3 and almost put the Toyotas on the top side where they couldn't get down there back with them before they got to pit road.
That's a good point, Larry. Maybe they were thinking they might pit with those Fords, but the Fords really, I don't know if they really gave them the opportunity because they made that late pass and went to the inside lane.
Not to mention they pitted a little bit early. I mean, even our own America's crew chief in our ear was saying, it'd be a couple, 3 more laps before they come. Boom, they're on pit road. So maybe a little bit of shenanigans, huh?
Yeah, like Larry, we saw them make that move. Wasn't sure if they were going for the lead or were going to form up to pit at that time. Maybe they caught the Toyotas off guard.
Whatever they did, it worked.
So now this lead pack is formed up and it's 12 cars deep.
Now, I certainly don't want anybody listening at home, watching this at home, to think that there's not going to be a lot of shuffling up in this group. There absolutely is. But I think you're going to need to be in the top 5, 6, maybe 7. And I would even go to a stretch of 8 of Chase Elliott if you're going to have a shot at this Daytona 500 win if it stays like this.
Well, there's going to be more because that Jamie McMurray-led group has picked up 3.5 seconds here over the last 10 or 11 laps, and they are gaining on the lead pack.
They're going to catch him too.
And this is going to be an opportunity for Denny Hamlin, because that car that's the last one in line, or if you're Denny Hamlin, you're needing some more help. You've got your teammate Christopher Bell has had some issues. He's back there, can help you. You got Bubba Wallace ahead of you, but you need a larger pack to come and build up some energy and break up this draft. If they can get to that end of this line, they might be able to get enough momentum shifted in, allowing Denny Hamlin and a couple of those other guys to make some moves. But I just think it's too early to step out.
There are 6 Fords on the lead lap, 2 Toyotas, 7 Chevrolets.
You know, there's definitely several different ways that Denny Hamlin can still win this race, Jeff. I mean, obviously, when he was in the lead, he was in a catbird seat. But now you're in a situation where, do you formulate the line in which you were just talking about, or do you think there's still a caution coming and going to create a green-white checkered opportunity?
Well, then it must be time for Larry's trends of the race as we get down to the finish.
The trends have made the return for 2021. You know how to get a caution. I just start reading the twins. So anyhow, I looked at the last 10 Daytona 500s and looked at the trends of the patterns. On average, the last caution is roughly 6 laps to go. But in those 10 races, it happened 8 times in the final 10 laps. And we've had 5 overtime finishes, including the last 3.
Here come the Chevys on the inside, Larry. Boy, there are a bunch of them. And they came right up to those Fords, and now it's on.
Yeah, but I still think it was too early. Cole Custer's a nice move. But look at, they're all trying to get back.
Hold on to it.
Hold on, Ross Chastain. That hole just closed up so fast. Kyle Larson.
Cole Custer's wishing he probably didn't pull down, try to block that run.
But this
so
helps
early.
Denny Hamlin out here. Denny Hamlin was very happy to see that happen. He probably gained 4 or 5 positions there.
Now, I am not looking for a caution, but in the last 16 Daytona 500s, we've had one between now and the checkered flag. 14 of those 16 races.
That's more than a trend.
Chase Elliott, the series champion, 6th. Second of the Chevys, Austin Dillon, the 2018 winner, just ahead. Joey Logano has now led 18 laps as they come around.
Four, 234, 3, 918.
Kevin Harvick has led 17, according to our unofficial count.
You starting to feel that, Clint?
Oh yeah, the storm's brewing. I was just looking, I keep looking at this manufacturer lineup. When I look up through the lineup, it was 5 Fords and then a handful, what was it, 7 Chevrolets in a row with those Toyotas. Now everybody's mixed in between. That's what creates the chaos in the race that we're all looking for out of this Daytona 500.
We can talk all we want about lap leaders. They're only going to remember who leads the last one.
And it's going to change, in my opinion. I love the position. If I had to pick a position, I want to be in Joey Logano's, where he's at. I want to be the leader. But I got to say, it's going to be so hard if somebody makes a move. Now, his best friend is Brad Keselowski. We know Kevin Harvick's going to want to make a move, but Kevin Harvick's going to need somebody to go with him. And I don't know if Brad Keselowski's going to go with Kevin Harvick. So Kevin Harvick's got some tough decisions to make as we wind this race down.
There's a Harvick's view of Keselowski. And behind Kez, I continue to be impressed with Michael McDowell. He's driven an extremely smart race. He sits right there with that group of Fords in 4th place in a car that is not one of the Ford powerhouse teams, Front Row Motorsports, where McDonald's found a home these last few years. But he's in position to try to win this.
Always overachieving on these restricted plate tracks like this. Always. You always looked over your shoulder, and at the end of the race, Michael McDowell was right there in the run, and always in the right place at the right time. Makes the right decisions.
And behind the 4 Fords, remember how Austin Dillon won the 500 in 2018. There was a Ford in front of him in the back straightaway. He moved it aside and took the win.
You can see this 3 car. We've watched him make moves in that duel, Jeff. I look for this car to make a move and have a really good partner in the 9 car pushing.
Clinton, I want you to go back to a conversation that Brad Keselowski was having a little bit earlier. Hey, I'm going to back this thing up, and I need a push. He's backing up to that 34 car McDowell right now. I got to believe there's got to be some radio communication going on with them. Hey, I want you to go with me when it's time. I think he's just trying to plan that move. Where do I want the momentum? Can I get that run off of turn 2 down the back straightaway?
5 to go.
Here's Keselowski's
and
radio.
1.
Coleman Presley, the spotter.
I start seeing the 3 hand out the window. Just watch it.
Yeah, and I believe that
behind him, 9 still stacked up to the 18, trying to build runs.
I was going to say,
Three's doing the
you're
same
right.
thing.
Brad is very good at that, but I think the run's going to establish behind him with this 3 car, the 9 car, or even further back. You know Denny Hamlin's wanting to get to the front, and he's got help back there as well.
And if I'm Brad Keselowski or Michael McDowell, as soon as that 3 car, I don't know if Michael McDowell can do it, but as soon as that 3 car jumps out of line, I'm jumping right down in front of him.
And going back to what you said earlier, what you like about Joey Logano and being in the lead. I like Joey Logano's position in the lead because of the company he has behind him. When that line gets established, whoever it may be, one of those guys behind him, one of his allies is going to have to pull down and block that run and try to attempt their win at the Daytona 500. And when they do, he's still got allies behind him. If he pulls down and blocks that, he has options where he's at with the company he has behind him.
At the end of the last stage, when the Chevys made their move, Michael McDowell moved right down in front of them and gained positions. The Chevys will not be content to ride behind these Fords to the finish, and that's coming in 4 laps.
And look how hard the 3 car can push Michael McDowell in front of him.
He's got plenty of speed.
Yes.
And he's just pushing. He's pushing him, hoping that Michael McDowell wants to step out and make that move here early. He's forcing him, just saying, come on, man, go ahead, or I'm going to just keep pushing your rear bumper as hard as I can.
And Austin Dillon's already proved that he can do it. He's won this race before.
Now the Toyotas, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, have just 1 car between them. That is Kyle Larson. Can the 2 Toyotas get together and make something happen in these final 3 laps?
Yes.
But back to what you were saying, Clint, the best opportunity for Joey Logano is that all those guys have all these different agendas.
Oh, yeah.
And what do? They get a run, they move forward, but they actually don't get organized well enough to get all the way up to Joey Logano.
Biggest thing Joey has to do is make sure that he doesn't get too far out. When those runs start happening, if they get 3 wide, they stall out, and you'll get way out, and they will get a hold of you with a huge run.
Everybody's staying. They're playing with their gaps, the 9 and the 3 mainly.
The gap for the 2 car right there.
Yep. That's Joey Logano's spotter.
Gap on the 4. He's
Big
4 off
gap.
the 4.
TJ Majors.
Everybody's staying here, though. Big gap behind the 4. Brad's got him stacked up big.
20% of all Daytona 500s have ended with a last lap change of the lead.
That's not going to change tonight.
There he goes.
Big run right here.
Joey's going to move down, block that.
Right to his teammate's bumper.
Watch what happens now behind all these guys. Now that's going to shake everything up. Here comes Austin Dillon to the outside. Oh, man, Kevin Harvick in trouble, gets shuffled out.
White flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Okay, now these guys, their job, if you're Austin Dillon, one of those
Watch
guys.
this run Kevin Harvick has on the bottom.
Now the
Huge
5
push
can go
by
to the
Bubba.
outside. They're all trying to build that run that Keselowski did.
Here goes the 3 car.
Will Dillon have help? No, they come down to block. Logano goes back up, Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow, Dillon on the bottom.
The run's on top.
Whoa!
Teammates.
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Kyle Larson.
Caution is out.
Bubba Wallace is in this. Austin Cindric, hard hit by Kyle Busch.
Caution's out.
McDowell is first to the line, but will have to go back to the moment of caution, which ends the race. Brad Keselowski is climbing out. He's okay. Joey Logano we see taking off the gloves and the steering wheel.
I think McDowell's the winner of this race, guys.
He was first across the line. NASCAR will review and have to determine the finish at the moment of caution. And we'll wait for official word.
A huge win if that's the case.
But Bob Jenkins' Front Row Motorsports crew is celebrating on pit road.
Oh, wouldn't that be incredible? You're going to see some emotion out of this guy if this comes back official.
A lot of tore up race cars.
All the Chevys torn up. You saw Priest with damage, Chase Elliott with damage.
This was a really hard hit. Kyle Busch, when he came in.
Yes. And the AMR safety crew very quickly on the scene, being directed.
Look at the damage to the wall.
It's a bumper cover up there. And there's Kyle Busch climbing out. That is a great sign, and that means everybody has climbed from their cars after a huge pile up on the final lap of the Daytona 500. NASCAR is still reviewing video footage because when they hit the caution light, that time stamps all video to determine the order of finish at the moment of caution.
Huge run, went for it. Joey was obviously had to block.
The question is, where did that caution come out? Chase Elliott pulls ahead of Michael McDowell.
Oh, look at the run he got right there, though.
McDowell, the run on the outside with a little help from Hamlin.
All right, we know the caution was out there. We saw some caution lights where Michael McDowell and the 3 of Austin Dillon pulled ahead of Chase Elliott.
And Michael McDowell from Glendale, Arizona, for Bob Jenkins' Front Row Motorsports, has won the Daytona 500.
How about that?
Man.
That's a huge win for Michael McDowell and that team. Doesn't get any bigger than this.
And a huge crash for everybody else. McDowell is the 40th driver to win the Great American Race, and the 8th driver in history to score his first career cup win in the Daytona 500. And yes, Clint, he led only the last lap.
That's all it takes.
Only one you need to win. Awesome job.
Man.
So happy for him, his family, that team. That's pretty cool.
Has a road racing background, worked his way up to the Cup Series. Has had a variety of different teammates.
Yeah, I said it. We were talking about it when they were riding.
Yeah, you're giving him props.
Every time you look over, and you always saw Michael burn it down, baby.
Yeah. But isn't it something? There's just something about these super speedways where certain guys just have a certain knack for it, an ability to pull that off. And you're right, Michael McDowell is one of those guys that does it often.
A man of deep faith. He'll be joined in victory lane by Drew Blickensderfer, his crew chief, who reminds me, Larry reminds me it's Drew's second 500 win, and his new spotter, Clayton Hughes, for 2021.
Yeah, that was Martin Truex Jr.'s spotter for a long time.
Well, let's repeat. All drivers involved in that horrendous crash in turn 3 have climbed from their cars and appear to be okay.
Yeah, that's great news, because when I saw Kyle Busch go in there was such a head of steam. Yeah, got some fans cheered for that. Flying the American flag on the helmet.
Chase Elliott second, Austin Dillon third. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin trying to three-peat, completes the top 5 unofficially. Ross Chastain is 6th. Ryan Preece, Jamie McMurray 8th. Corey LaJoie, Kyle Larson, your top 10. What a long time coming for Michael McDowell. Here's Jamie Little.
I know. 14th year racing in the Cup Series, Michael. Your first career win. You're a Daytona 500 champion.
I just can't believe it. Just got to thank God. So many years just grinding it out, hoping for an opportunity like this. Got to thank Love's Travel Stop, Speedco, Bob Jenkins for giving me this opportunity. I'm so thankful. Such a great way to get a first victory at Daytona 500. Are you kidding me? Man. Oh, man. Just want to say hi to my wife back home. Happy Valentine's Day. I know it's been a tough week. My kids, I love you guys. I wish they could be here with me to celebrate. Maybe NASCAR will send the plane to bring them down here, but we're the Daytona 500 champions. I cannot believe this. Thank you, Doug Yates, Ford. We had our Ford partners at the end, and they all crashed, and luckily I was able to make it through. So thankful. God is good.
Michael McDowell has been there at the end of so many of these, Mike, and finally tonight it was his.
He led the final lap.
Well, Chase Elliott watching the celebration on our screen right next to him there. You were side by side with Michael McDowell through 3 and 4. When the caution came out, how close do you think it was right there?
I don't think it was very close. I mean, I kind of got next to him and I saw the lights come on, so I knew it was over right then. But yeah, just a huge thanks to Napa and Chevrolet, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. Felt like we had a fast car. Weren't as good as I thought we were on Thursday, so I felt like we did a really good job executing today. Staying out of trouble, that's not something I've done a very good job of here in this race, so glad we could at least finish this one and have something to build on for when we come back and try to do better. Yeah, but the top was just so fast. It didn't seem to matter who got down low. You couldn't really make anything go, so we all kind of tried at certain points in time, just didn't work out, but yeah, close. We finished one, so I'm pretty pleased with that.
Thank you, Chase.
Let's go back to that last lap. Back straightaway.
So you get this big run, all the cars stacked up on the outside. The 2-car, Brad Keselowski, went to go to the inside of his teammate, Joey Logano. Joey blocked a little bit. Here comes Chase Elliott to the inside of Michael McDowell. They're 3 wide coming off of turn 4, guys, and it's unbelievable how Michael McDowell's car just surged forward off that top lane.
So let's go back to the moment of caution and show you the position of those cars using our Fox Ghost car. And clearly, at the moment of caution, McDowell is out in front of Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon to secure the victory. The big one on the final lap in the final corner of the Daytona 500. Michael McDowell emerges with the victory. Brad Keselowski gets hard into the wall trying to win the Daytona 500, and Kyle Busch piles in at over 190 miles an hour. Let's join Vince Welch.
Well, such a vicious hit, and so glad to see Brad come out of the care center okay. What happened? How do you explain what went on
Had a
there?
big run down the backstretch. Want to make the pass to win the Daytona 500, and it ended up really bad. I don't feel like I made a mistake, but I can't drive everybody else's car, so frustrating. The discount tire Ford was not the fastest, but Jeremy Bowen's whole team did a great job of keeping us in position. Right then, we were in position. It's exactly where I want to be, running second on the last lap at Daytona with this package, and had to run, made the move, and it didn't work out.
Thanks, Brad. It's the only one he hasn't won, Mike. He has been so close so many times. It's the one big one that he hasn't gotten, and you could see the frustration not getting it tonight.
Keselowski will be scored 13th.
And I agree with Brad. I think he did everything right. He got the big push. He went to make the move. He's got so much momentum. There's nothing more that he could do. And I think Joey Logano didn't make an abrupt move. He just tried to slowly slow down that momentum, and they made contact.
And in hindsight, when you look at it now that you've seen the wreck and know what happened, well, he wrecked his teammate. That's not the case. He was going for the biggest race of his career. He hasn't won this Daytona 500.
Let's ride with the Toyota onboard camera and Bubba Wallace.
Big hit.
I love what I saw out of Bubba Wallace's decision making there, though. He let those guys race, right? He wasn't in it at that moment, right? He already had his issue, and he knew he couldn't help his teammates out anymore at that point. He pulls down low, let these guys go by. Unfortunately, he still gets caught up in that big wreck.
Showing a little damage from the lap 14 incident. There's McDowell's car in victory lane. Here's Regan Smith.
Fourth place finish tonight for Kevin Harvick. Kevin, you're in position at the end there, and things just didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, you know, everybody, Brad laid way back there and got a run on the inside. And then at that point, when it scatters, you hope that you get a push or you can wind up in the right spot. And I just wound up in a spot that finished fourth. So, great Busch Light Ford Mustang all night. We were able to position ourselves up front. Kind of a weird race, the way it all would single file out, and then you kind of scatter there a lap or two at the end and see where it all played out.
Thanks, Kevin.
Michael McDowell has experienced so many highs and lows of the sport. Maybe now we can retire that Texas qualifying crash video that he's a Daytona 500 champion. He had a top ride with a factory team, lost it, ended up with a start and park team to keep his name alive and be visible in this sport, and then found a home with Front Row Motorsports. And here he is, a Daytona 500 champion.
Mike, you don't stay around in this sport for as long as Michael McDowell has without hard work, without dedication, and without talent. And boy, today, all that came together at the right moment to win the biggest race of his career and biggest race in our series.
Made the right decisions, right place at the right time. All of those things go into winning this race. I loved what I saw in this race. I saw a lot of teamwork. I saw strategy. I saw good blocking. I saw good pushing. And I saw a good guy win the Daytona 500. I dig it.
All right, let's join Vince.
Yeah, back here at the Advent Healthcare Center with Kyle Busch, who took a massive hit as well in that accident. How do you describe the chaos of what was going on there in that last lap?
Just that. I mean, it's to be expected, you know, just a matter of time before it all kind of breaks loose and whatever happens, happens here. I saw a window to the outside, and then all of a sudden I had the 2-car on my hood. So, I don't know. You know, I felt like those guys were going to get bogged down on the bottom, so I was trying to shoot for the top and get a run around the outside of them. That's typically where everybody was going all night long, and hopefully get a run off of 4 and just at least try to shoot for a top 5. We were too far back, I think, to make anything happen for a win, but got clobbered a few good times there, obviously, and just fortunate that I'm all good, and you know, our M&M's Camry will that one won't live on to see another day, but hopefully we'll be back here next week and and have a better go around and on the road course and get back after it.
Yeah, glad to see you're okay. Thanks, Kyle.
Kyle will be scored 14th. Here's Regan with the 3rd place finisher.
Austin Dillon comes home in 3rd place. You're battling it out with those guys at the end. Austin, just not quite enough to get your second 500.
Yeah, you know, you just got to be thankful to be around at those moments at the end. And I pulled out to see if the bottom would work, and just didn't get enough of a run, and it was close. I know that I got to thank all my sponsors: Bass Pro Shops, Tracker Off-Road, BetMGM, Workrise, but Get Biofuel, everybody that helps this program now. And Justin Alexander built a rocket ship. We were here all weekend scoring points, and that's all I can ask for. The team worked hard in the offseason, ECR power, and what can I say? Chevy was really close. I really had fun working with my guys tonight in the Chevy camp.
Good run, Austin.
Denny Hamlin led 98 laps tonight, Denny, but it came down to that final pit stop. What exactly happened there that got you shuffled?
We were too far out front. We just got on and off pit road too good, and just, you know, it was just too far ahead of the pack. And, you know, I figured the Chevys would make a move with like 2 or 3 to go, because they're not going to win from on the last lap from 5th or 6th. So, you know, I was able to gain some positions there. I think I was 12th, and everybody was running single file, so it kind of handcuffed me. I couldn't really do anything, and then I hoped once I got to 8th, I was like, okay, as long as they make a move with 2 to go, I'm in the energy area where I can make something happen. And all we could get to was, you know, top 5 there. But dominant car. I mean, just a dominant car. Just it's one of those things where you execute too good, and just got freight train there.
Denny Hamlin brings it home 4th.
Glendale, Arizona's Michael McDowell celebrates with owner Bob Jenkins, crew chief Drew Blickensderfer, and the rest of his Front Row Motorsports team.